800-570-6630. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Hi, it's Doc Thompson for Matthew 25 Ministries. Matthew 25 Ministries is one of the few charities I'll actually endorse because I know them. I've worked with them, and I know almost all of the money that you donate goes to help people. Go to m25m.org, m25m.org.
Ladies, some of you sickos willingly accept that with the big doe eyes that you don't even need from a Snapchat filter and just look up at R. Kelly and say, give me your best.
Lorenzo Vizzo. United 7. MoJo 50.
Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. Call right now. That number again is 800-245-0823.
MoJo 50. The question isn't who's going to let us. The question is who's going to stop us. Adjust your mojo now. Thank you. The Mothership. Almighty MoJo 50.
Well, damn it, we've been scammed. We've been scammed now for decades, centuries, by some old guy. Some old guy named Ben.
Ben?
Yeah, Ben Franklin. Apparently he was some guy, let's just a social animal. Well, because of the old age maladies, he was forced to stay home a lot. And because he did that, I guess he was known pretty much for playing chess until, talk about a party animal, he used to play chess until the wee hours of the morning, until like 4 in the morning, and then he wouldn't get up until noon. And at that time, he's the ambassador, the delegate to Paris. He lived in a place, by the way, called Passy, Paris. So he had a friend by the name of Antoine Alexis Francois Cadet Devaux. That's one hell of a name.
It's too early in the morning to start talking like that.
No kidding. Antoine Alexis Francois Cadet Devaux. He was the editor of the Journal des Paris. So he's looking for content for his newspaper. And so he knows that Ben Franklin's kind of a funny guy and can write well. So he kind of encourages him to do basically some satirical pieces. So Franklin decides to write a series of articles for their amusement, their letters, really. And one of them concerned what he called the economy of lighting in the home. And this was the
Was that after he flew the kite?
This was what year? Yeah, he must have. What year did he couldn't have he didn't discover electricity after he was 78, did he? I mean, hell, he couldn't go outside. So apparently there was this new this brand new lamp, this brand new oil lamp that everyone was excited about, and he attended a demonstration of this new oil lamp. So he decided to and he's a smart guy, obviously. So he decided to write these letters and say, hey, with this new smart oil lamp, we started thinking about the daylight hours and the nighttime, and he's staying up until 4, and he gets up one day and it's like 6 in the morning, and he says, "Oh, this light is beaming through the window. I don't know what the hell's going on." He says, "Parisians don't wake up until noon. What's going on here?" So that was kind of the impetus for him writing this whole this whole letter, which detailed how if they had just shifted time a little bit, that they could save all of this money because they wouldn't be burning wax and tallow, which they used in candles. And so he said, 100,000 Parisians, if they did this, if they didn't burn this many candles over the course of a year, and he did all this crazy math, and he ended up being able to say, man, if we would just move time around a little bit so people didn't get up so early or late, or however the hell he was looking at it, we would save bazillion dollars on the candles and the tallow that we're spending, and do that worldwide, and we will save ourselves into a happy place. And it was a satire more than anything else.
Wonder if he knew people were going to bitch about it.
Well, of course, his buddy decided to. He thought, wow, it's a great idea. So this went on for decades, and so they convinced people that, and I guess he had friends in the government that he convinced. At one point, they were actually setting clocks forward and backward 20-minute increments. So
no, that wouldn't have worked for me.
Yeah, during the month of April, it was like 20 minutes the first week, 20 minutes the second week, 20 minutes. I mean, it was nuts. And this turned into what we now know as daylight saving time.
Now, we're in DST now, right?
We're in DST now. By the way, it's daylight
Brandon
saving
didn't get
time.
the memo, I don't think.
Oh, well, we'll get to that in a bit. Yeah, Brandon's not here yet. No, he's not on the roof.
Yeah, there was already that comment.
So yeah, it's daylight, but it's singular, daylight saving time. It's not
daylight saving.
It's not daylight savings time.
Gotcha. Daylight saving time.
Get that straight.
DST. And
then, of course, then you go down the rabbit hole of daylight saving time is actually based on universal coordinated time.
Yeah.
Which used to be called Greenwich Mean Time.
Right.
But if it's universal coordinated time, you'd think it'd be UCT.
It's not. It's UTC.
It's UTC. Mm-hmm. It must be the French thing. Universal time coordinated.
Pilots learn that pretty quick, because everything we do is off of UTC. But pilots, is it universal time coordinated?
Yes, that's what they do.
Yeah,
universal time coordinated.
So we are either here in this area where we're at, we're either -5 or -6 from UTC,
depending on whether it's daylight saving time or not.
So we are currently -5.
By the way, the number that Franklin came up with was 96,075,000 livres tournois. Apparently, that was the form of money they used back then. Livres tournois. We will save 96 million of those. That was his friend speaking. That wasn't Ben. An immense sum, Franklin said, that the city of Paris might save every year. And damn it, they took him seriously. And so here we are, setting the clocks forward for the next, 4 months?
Yeah, because it used to be 6 and 6, but it's like 7 and 5 now.
Well, in 1973, the United States stayed on it for the whole year.
Yeah.
So that we could save oil. Did we save oil?
We stayed on DST for the whole year?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We stayed on one of them. Hell, nobody can remember anymore. No. And some states don't take part in it. Parts of Indiana don't do it. Arizona doesn't do it because it's too damn hot at night. They want to be able to take advantage of the cooler weather in the morning. Hawaii doesn't do it. Why we continue this farcical, time-shifting, magical thing that no one really likes? I mean, you like it in the fall when I get an extra hour of sleep. No, you don't. You really don't. All it does is scream. It's like having jet lag. They also, one of the things he considered, by the way, was a tax on every window built with shutters to keep the light out the sun. That was in Paris.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is the equivalent, basically, of the light bulb, of the government getting involved in the manufacture of the light bulb. Daylight saving time is what happens when the government gets involved in clocks. So if you're waking up late, don't blame me. Blame Ben Franklin.
Actually, they would be, would they be late to work? Or early to work?
Be late because
it moved forward an hour. That's right. Snuck up on them. That's right. So they'd be late to work today.
And the whole theory is because you spend more time outdoors at night, if it's not dark sooner, if it's light later, then you're going to be outside and not have the lights turned on in the house, and you're not going to be using electric. It's all bogus. And for every study that they've shown that, well, this saves 3% on energy, you can 2 more say it doesn't do squat. I had to get that off my chest. Now you know. And I was wondering what we were going to do for the rest of the program, and then I came upon this.
Capitalism it's an ideology of capital. It puts capital. The most important thing is the concentration of capital, and it means that we seek and prioritize profit and the accumulation of money above all else, and we seek it at any human and environmental cost.
Yeah.
All U.S. Americans.
Oh, she does. She is gold. She's comedy gold. And I don't think Beth asked me yesterday, is she really that dumb? I think she might be that stupid. I didn't think so. I thought you can't, but I'm starting to think she is just dumb. And I'm not even sure it's ignorance. I think she just may be. But there's more to talk about with her. First of all, I want to, speaking of capitalism versus socialism, I wonder how that whole socialist thing's working out for them down in Venezuela with with their telecommunications and their electricity, not so much working out. People are they're like standing on their cars to see if they can get a signal with their cell phones now. And it's in day 4. Parts of it have come back on. Parts of it haven't with regard to electricity. If they only had Patriot Mobile, in Venezuela, their cell phones would work fabulously. But they don't, because you see, that's socialism at work right there. If you really would prefer that the United States of America does not become the United States of socialist America, then there's little things you can do about it. One of the simplest things is get yourself a Patriot Mobile cell phone account. And if the two things always said, the 2 things that you really are concerned about is the coverage, how well your cell phone works, and how much you're paying every month. That's it. I mean, and if you can add on top of that the fact that a portion of your the money you pay them every month goes to support conservatarian causes, then you're actually doing some good and not really doing anything above and beyond what you already do. Patriot Mobile gives to the NRA, to Freedom Works, to the Faith and Freedom Coalition. They have great plans at great prices. You can keep your old phone. You can keep your old number. You can get a new phone, get a new number. They got deals on terminating the current service that you have early. Just go to patriotmobile.com/doc and see if maybe what they have is right for you. That's patriotmobile.com/doc, or you could just continue down the path that we're on. It's just one of those simple things you can do. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she spoke at South by Southwest. She actually ended up drawing a bigger crowd than Elizabeth Warren and Amy Klobuchar. And I don't know if it was because people wanted to watch the dumpster fire, or the fact that, and this is the part that terrifies me, the fact that there might be a whole lot of people believing in things like this.
That is what that means. And to me, that ideology is not sustainable and cannot be redeemed. So
all right, she's talking about capitalism. And she says capitalism is irredeemable and it can't be sustained. Okay. She goes on.
You want to call it democratic socialism or techno-futurism or like whatever it is because our technological advancement as a society has outpaced our system for handling finite resources.
Wait, what? What the hell did you just say?
Our technological advancement as a society has outpaced our system for handling finite resources, because now we are approaching infinite resources.
We're now approaching infinite resources. Please slow down your warp engines to warp factor 2. Now approaching infinite resources. I don't even know what that means.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's more.
And how do you, capitalism is based on scarcity. And what happens when there is enough for everyone to eat? What happens when there is enough for everyone to be clothed? Then you have to make scarcity artificial. And that is what has happened. We have created artificial scarcity.
Make scarcity artificial. And that is what has happened. We have created artificial scarcity.
And that is why we are driven to work 80 hours a week.
What the hell is artificial scarcity? What is she even talking about? Artificial scarcity. Limiting the production of some items? I mean, that's it's the law of supply and demand.
Have we just been brainwashed all our lives?
I'm starting to wonder.
There are people all over this country who don't have enough food to eat. I mean, all over this world.
Yes.
And she's talking about unlimited resources and unlimited food supplies. And
what she's saying, what happens when we reach all these, that capitalism is no longer sustainable because there won't be the need. There won't be the demand for the supply of what we have. At least that's what I think she's saying. I mean, I don't have an economics major. I don't have any degree. I mean, I like to think I have a degree of common sense, but I'm not even sure about that sometimes when I hear her continue on and say things like,
we are being our most productive at any point in American history. And so we should be working the least amount we've ever worked.
Oh my God.
We are the most productive we've ever been in American history, so we should be working the least amount. I mean, I'm not going to argue with her there. I'd love to work 10 hours a week and then just sit my ass down on the couch the rest of the time and drink beer or some other alcoholic beverage.
Oh my God. She is the reason why there are so many young people, I say young people out there, who just feel like everything should be handed to them.
This is stunning.
This is crazy, the socialism.
This is absolutely wackadoodle. And I think she believes it. And there's more.
If we were actually paid based on how much wealth we were producing. But we're not. We're paid on how little we're desperate enough to accept.
We're paid on how little we're desperate enough to accept.
And then the rest is skimmed off and given to a billionaire.
Yeah,
Okay. All right, that's only the first part of the speech that she gave. It's actually not a speech, it was an interview.
You know, I just realized she's either the dumbest person in the world or the smartest and smarter than everybody else.
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to think. It's like, am I missing something here? But I don't think we are. I think that this is just the craziest.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's see here. You know, this is what, by the way, she said about moderates.
It's like this, it feels like.
It should be ringing the bell for every like. So it's like, that's a 1, 2, and 3. Let's just keep up with them.
Moderate is not a stance. It's just an attitude toward life of like.
well, don't hold back. Tell me how you really feel about incrementalism.
I'm surprised she didn't say, what's incrementalism? That would have been funny.
Here's the thing that upsets me is that we've become so cynical that we view or we view cynicism as an intellectually superior attitude.
We view cynicism as an intellectually superior attitude. If you're not cynical when you hear some of these things that she's spouting off, then you're an idiot. How can you not? I mean, getting rid of all internal combustion engine in 10 years, rebuilding or modifying every building in the United States in 10 years. Again, the Freedom Tower took how many years to, was it 15? Yep. Just to build one building in New York City. One building. But and again, you go back to the Empire State Building, which was built in either 11 or 13 months. I mean, they were badass back then. You want a building? Here we go. How in the hell are you going to rebuild or modify every building in the country in 10 years? I don't know. Maybe there's a way to do it that I am just not privy to.
And we view ambition as youthful naivete when we think about the greatest things we have ever accomplished as a society have been ambitious acts of vision. And
is that not a great campaign slogan? Ambitious acts of vision. Or a great name for a rock band, one of the two. But it would look good on a t-shirt.
the meh is like worship now for what? Like for what?
I have no, again, I really am not sure exactly what the hell she was saying. I mean, I guess in some world it made sense.
I'm struggling to make sense out of it myself here.
And
man,
at first I thought, yeah, let's just hit this for a couple of minutes and then we'll move on. But there is so much of it that it really is, it would be a sin not to talk about this. It would be, well, let's just move on to the next piece. She went on later to say she not only was dogging capitalism, but then she went on to talk about, well, I'll let her fill you in just a second before we do that. Let's talk about guns. Where'd I put it? This one right here. This, for those of you who cannot see my hands, I am holding in my hands a Charter Arms 44 Bulldog Special. It's a great little gun. But one of the things that I don't like about this gun is that when you fire, being a 44, number one, when you fire it, it's kind of like driving a Buick into your hand. And the way the grip is, I just don't think it was well designed. Initially.
No, the grip is too small.
The grip is too small. So when you fire this gun, the whole gun comes right back into your middle finger if you got big mitts like I do. And it pops you right in the middle finger.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
These are things you don't know unless you talk to a professional. I mean, if you called Tar River Arms, went to their website, talked to Jake over there, or Kurt rather, not Jake, Kurt, talk to him and ask him questions. And the guy is smart. He knows about his guns. He can tell you what's good and bad about, I'll bet you just about every gun that he sells. And he sells some pretty impressive guns at Tar River Arms. By the way, the sound of this gun, I found a guy shooting it. This thing is like, it really, it's a
pretty
40,
loud. And he was pretty accurate, except for that last shot.
No, actually, what he hit on that last shot was something that made water squirt out.
Oh.
So he hit it too. It was actually the one of the smallest targets. And so it's an accurate gun, and maybe he has smaller mitts than I do. You know, I guess you could put a different grip on this thing, and actually it would be more comfortable to shoot. But the fact that the fact that it does have a bit of a force, it will take your middle finger off if you're not careful. You do have to.
Don't you own like one of every gun that they have at TRA?
I only have 3. Oh, 3. I don't have
Your gun
more
safe's the size of a refrigerator.
Not mine. What are you talking about? Not mine. Not at all. No, I just happen to have a few that I like. That's all. The thing is, if you go to traguns.com, traguns.com, that is where you will find an incredible selection of guns, far larger than mine. Far, far larger than the 3 favorites that I have. It is traguns.com. That's tarriverarms.com as well. You know, over on the Twitterverse, let's just see what people are doing because I wanted to check in. Big Pharma Steve tweeted out, and by the way, use the hashtag what I learned today. Big Pharma Steve tweeted out, ambitious acts of vision is as useless of a statement as saying, check out that sweet action on action. Yeah, I would agree with you there.
Check out that sweet action on action.
Jack Ribbit tweeted, every time I hear AOC speak, you know what, sorry. Again, being the only person in this room now, the response, well, for now, this hour. Now I'll get to that later. The big announcement coming up in about 35 minutes, something like that. So if that's the only reason you got up, you can go back to sleep for 35 minutes. But he continued, every time I hear AOC speak, I picture Rosie Perez on Jeopardy from White Men Can't Jump. Remember that? She didn't know diddly do. I have APR Coffee Slug. AOC Sandy is a useful idiot. That doesn't make her platform any less dangerous to the American people. That's the point, is that no matter how goofy, and again, I'm with you, Ron. I think, okay, did I just miss something? Maybe because I don't, like I said, I don't have a degree. I didn't go to college. Well, I did for a semester, but that's a different story. It was too much work. But I do know where the sun rises in the morning. I know where it sets in the west. I mean, I've had a little bit. I've been on this planet for a little while, so I've, seen some things. And none of what she's saying makes any damn sense. I mean, it would be great if you could snap your finger. Of course, it'd be great to have been married to either I Dream of Jeannie or Bewitched. That would have been great. I mean, as long as we're talking fantasy stuff. I mean, that would have been. Because they were married to the two dumbest guys on TV. We never let them use their powers. But short of the fact that we don't have genies and witches, say somebody's going to call me out on that too. There's witches running around out there. Not the hot ones like on Bewitched. I just wonder, am I missing something? Or is this stuff really just crazy? And there's more of it. And we'll get to that next on this Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo.
Happily promoting the 4Fs: freedom, faith, free markets, and fun. MoJo 50.
I'm Mike Opelka from PureOpelka.com. Here's your 2-minute drill. Look, there's no other way to put it. Conservatives are under attack, especially popular media conservatives. Over the weekend, we saw Tucker Carlson and Jeanine Pirro. Both of them have shows on Fox. One has a daily show, one's a weekend show, and both are strong conservatives who support the president, and they are under attack. Media Matters has people combing through any old interview with Tucker Carlson, and they found an interview from a show hosted by a guy named Bubba the Love Sponge. Doesn't exactly sound like the McNeil-Lehrer report, does it? No. And Bubba's show was foul. It was disgusting. And Tucker was foul and disgusting on that show over a decade ago. Does that mean he should lose his gig? Well, if you're a lefty who's afraid of someone preaching the truth on primetime television every day, yes. And the other person under attack, Judge Jeanine Pirro, has a weekend show on Fox, and she questioned whether Representative Ilhan Omar should be asked if she respects the Constitution and the laws of the country over Sharia law, which is part of the Muslim faith she practices. I don't have a problem with that. I think that's appropriate, especially in a religion where if you practice Sharia law in its most stringent forms, women are oppressed, gays are killed, and our laws are not respected. Have some faith in the truth, people. Happy Monday. Testudo, my friend. Testudo.
Mike Opelka's 2-minute drill is powered by MoJoWildRice.com. Their wild rice is a superfood, gluten, sodium, fat, and cholesterol-free, yet high in fiber, protein, zinc, phosphorus, and trace minerals. But you're going to love it because it's delicious. MoJoWildRice.com. MoJoWildRice.com.
The Daily Mojo.
Well, apparently, Ron, we're not alone in wondering if we just don't get it. Because a lot of people are wondering the same thing. Bickenhead Jackhole says AOC doesn't give a rat's ass about regular people. I think she might believe that she does, but no, she doesn't. Or maybe she does. And that's the problem with her is I have no idea what the hell she believes. So again, she grew a huge crowd at South by Southwest in the past couple of days. And again, more people were in her, I guess, interview than were in Elizabeth Warren's and Amy Klobuchar's, which is really frightening. When you're rooting for Elizabeth Warren, I'm going to tell you, Brad, they're going to put her on the stage. If Michael Moore gets his way, they're going to put her on the stage for the debates. She could be elected president if Michael Moore gets his way. Oh, so listen to this reaction, and you probably will know by the time. Let's just play.
Oh my gosh!
Reading. That is That is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez reaction to seeing Bill Nye in the crowd. Bill Nye, the science guy.
Who's not really a scientist.
Who's really not a scientist, but nah. Yeah. She and Bill had a discussion, which was fascinating.
Wow, greetings, everyone.
Oh my goodness, this is amazing.
This is so nice.
Watching the two of them talk to each other. It's like watching a cartoon, a make-believe politician and a make-believe scientist.
It's good to see you all. I can't take selfies with everyone.
Oh, that's too bad.
Keep in mind, here's what I think's going on. I'll ask the question in two ways. As you may know, I'm a white guy.
Yeah.
I belong to 2 unions.
Wow.
But I think.
Hey, that gets a big round of applause. I belong to 2 unions. Yeah, that's great.
The problem on both sides is fear.
Yep.
People are afraid. People of my ancestry are afraid of having to pay for everything when, as immigrants come into this country. People who come in, the people who work at the diner in Alabama are afraid to try to ask for what is reasonable. Mm-hmm. So do you have a plan to work with people in Congress that are afraid? And I think that's what's going on with many of the conservatives, especially when it comes to climate change. Mm-hmm. People are just afraid of what will happen if we try to make these big changes.
Did you notice he said they're afraid they're going to have to pay for it? That's because that's what they want us to do, is pay for it. That's what carbon tax credits are. That's what all of this, it all boils down to money. And yes, that's, you're absolutely right. It is not wanting to, quote unquote, pay for the stuff that we know isn't real in the first place. At least it's not man-made. Yes, the climate is changing. I'll give you that. But let's say tomorrow we decided we're going to stop the climate from changing. What is step one? What is step one? Just no one's, I mean, aside from taxing everybody, that's the thing that I keep hearing. If we just had more money, we could make it stop. Here's her answer.
And I remind everyone, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8 of the U.S. Constitution refers to the progress of science and useful arts.
And they do love to wrap themselves in the Constitution when it's handy and when it suits. Yeah, so do conservatives. Yeah, that argument again.
So when we address climate change, we're going to have clean water, access to the internet, and renewable electricity for everyone on Earth. Let's go.
Yes!
Thank you.
Bill.
This is, you get right.
This is amazing.
This is certainly amazing.
One of the keys to dismantling fear is dismantling a zero-sum mentality. So that, I think, is a really important part.
This, and by the way, she brings up a very, very good point. Listen to this and follow along with her logic.
Fear. So what does that mean? It means the rejection outright of the logic that says someone else's gain necessitates my loss, and that my gain must necessitate someone else's loss, that my gain must come at the cost of another person. We are increasing our capacities for productivity. And so we can give without a take.
We can give without a take because it's all just out there. It's all just, it's right there. It's like apples on the tree. You just go and pick them. When you pick an apple from the tree has to generate another apple. So, that would be technically a loss from the tree of an apple, which it will have to remake. But, my gain is not the tree's loss. It's the tree advancing in its productivity. I think I'm getting this. I think I'm actually starting to follow her logic. No, I'm not.
Is where we're going through technologically. And when we say...
Notice the applause. People are like, and I bet you that if you could see the crowd, they'd probably be turning to each other. What the hell did she just say? I don't know. Shut up. Keep playing.
This idea of how you're going to pay for it. This idea that there is a person that pays for it, instead of we're viewing progress as a cost instead of as an investment. And investments, the difference between a cost and an investment is that an investment yields returns. And when we choose to invest in our systems, we are choosing to create wealth.
I wonder who told her to say that. Difference between a cost and investment is an investment yields returns. Throw this out at them. It'll mess them up. Throw that.
It'll throw them all off.
They'll go, oh, damn it, she said something that makes sense.
They'll clap.
The rest of it, yeah, that's an applause. Make sure that you pause after you say it because you got to give them time to clap.
We are choosing to create wealth, and when we invest in when we all invest in them,
yes,
then the wealth is for all of us.
Yes.
Too. And so I think
when we invest in the wealth is for all of us. Why didn't I think of that? I should have thought of that.
Part of dismantling the fear is dismantling a zero-sum mentality. But you know, it's not just about like this idea of who are our decision makers. It's that this is us. This is about voting.
Yes.
This is about the conversations that we're having with our elected officials.
Yes. This is we. This is about us. This is about the conversations that we're having with our elected officials. This is about them. It's about we. It's about all of us together in the same boat, with or without a paddle. Damn it. We need the paddle industry to really kick it in high gear because there's people out there in canoes and boats without paddles, and they should have paddles because otherwise you're in a boat without a paddle. Makes as much sense. Let's talk about courage, because courage is really at the heart of all of this, I think.
Propagating courage begets courage. So the first person who stands up has to encounter the most amount of fear and discomfort. But once that one person stands up, it becomes immensely easier for the second person and the third and the fourth, until it doesn't take any courage at all.
Right. Do you know what? When she started talking about courage, do you know what it reminded me of? A very, very important speech in history that was given about this very same thing. And I found that speech, and I want to play it for you now.
Courage. What makes a king out of a slave?
Yes.
Courage. What makes the flag on the mast to wave? Courage. What makes the elephant charge his tusk in the misty mist or the dusky dusk? What makes the muskrat guard his musk? Courage. What makes the Sphinx the seventh wonder? Courage. What makes the dawn come up like thunder? Courage.
Courage.
What makes the Hottentot so hot? What puts the ape in apricot? What do they got that I ain't got? Courage. You could say that again.
I think
That's a pretty famous speech right there.
I think he may have said it even better than she said it. I don't know. I mean,
what the hell is a Hottentot?
If you don't know, I don't want to embarrass you by having to explain it to you.
Okay.
So, courage.
To stand up for something or to do something. And so what I would say is that the biggest antidote to fear is to, when you see someone that is being fearful, is to choose to be the person that is courageous.
See? When you see somebody who's being fearful, you need to choose. You need to choose. What the hell did she say? Something, you got to choose something courageous. Just be the courageous one. And all of this fear talking reminded me of another fabulous speech.
Let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And zombies.
See, she forgot to mention the zombies. But it's true. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. We got somebody on the line? These new phones are working great.
Yep.
Hold on.
Roz is like, she wants to bring back a little bit of a Doc Thompson statement concerning the pie.
The pie. Roz, how are you? Hello, Roz. Roz is not there. Ron, where's Roz? Ron? Roz. Well, we'll get back to
We'll get back to her.
Yes.
Put her on hold.
We'll get right back to Roz. I may have spoken too soon about the new phone. Sorry. So she continues.
People what courage looks like. To be the first person in the room to say, that's not right. Or to be the person in the room, when...
So in other words, when you hear something asinine, You need to be the first person to stand up and say, that's not right. Unless it's, of course, about something she's talking about.
There's this conversation, and the conversation starts to get taken over with fear-mongering, with like Venezuela this and whatever. Is to
Venezuela
say, you know what?
this and whatever. You mean the food shortages? You mean the telecommunication outage? You mean the electricity outage? You mean that Venezuela stuff? Again, I don't know. I just was assuming that that's what we were discussing when it came to socialism. I may be wrong. I get I'm not the smartest guy in the room by a long shot. But I know fear when I see it.
That it's all designed to get you to run away from something, and it's not a plan. Fear is not a plan. But
fear is a damn good plan if you run into a bear on a trail somewhere. Fear will save your life. Fear will save your life in a lot of cases. Fear and a little common sense.
Courage is a plan.
Yes.
Courage is, this is what we're going to do. Yes. This is where we're going to go. This is what I'm going to stand up, and this is the action that I'm going to take. Courage is about our future, and fear is just about anxiety.
Yes.
And
you know where your CBD oil helps with anxiety? Oh, just saying. So she, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, supplied us with an inexhaustible supply of comedy material. She was not an irredeemable resource. She was not an unsustainable resource. She continues to be a sustainable resource when it comes to comedy. It is, and the people that are following her, it's really, really scary. Really, really scary. And last week we were talking about if their plan to bring socialism to this country goes through, would you stay? Could you stay here in this country? Or would you have to leave? I'm not sure. I don't know where the hell else there is to go anymore. Maybe France could write some satirical letters to a newspaper or a journal there and possibly change the world just like Ben Franklin did. If you weren't on the call, the Facebook chat, the Facebook Live event on Saturday with Gwen Rich of the Rich Solution, what is wrong with you? Where were you? We actually discussed a lot of we discussed taking baby steps, really. We discussed taking little change at one little change at a time. This part of the Doc Thompson Healthy Lifestyle Challenge, which is it's a 90-day challenge to basically make little changes in your life for the betterment of your health. Who doesn't want to be healthier, right? I wouldn't mind being healthier. I wouldn't mind if it just didn't hurt to, bend over and tie the shoes. I can still, by the way, Gwen, I can still see my feet. It just hurts to tie my shoes, that's all. If you are the supplement type person, if you take supplements on a daily basis, if you want to start taking vitamins and supplements, I will tell you this. You can either go out onto the interwebs and you can research the crap out of them and find all sorts of conflicting information. That's what the interweb is for. For 18 different viewpoints on something. Or you can go to the Rich Solution, go to supplements, and click on that and find a drop down of everything they've got. And let me just tell you this. Adam, Rich, and Gwen have put more exhausting research into supplements than you would ever possibly want to spend. When I say that Adam puts in the extra time to research something, I mean he puts every waking hour into it. So he's not only found the supplements that are the best, he's also found a way to bring them to you the lowest price. I mean, literally, I don't think they have to be making some money. I don't honestly know what their margin is, but he says we're almost losing money when we sell them, but they're the best, and then they're the best in the right combination. So if you go to therichsolution.com, you will find all of said supplements right there, and you will you'll find the right combinations because they did all the work, so you don't have to. That is the richsolution.com. The richsolution.com. Well, guess who else is in the news? Our friend Jussie Smollett. If you didn't get the memo on, was it Thursday or Friday? It's Friday. Hey, today's 11, 10, 9, 8. Yeah, it was Friday. The grand jury returned a 16-count indictment on Friday afternoon. He was charged, Jussie Smollett was charged with 16 counts of disorderly conduct for allegedly making false reports. He was charged on February 29th with disorderly conduct. He knew that at the time. There was no reasonable ground for believing that such offenses had been committed, blah, 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 blah. A representative for the Cook County State's Attorney did not immediately return a call for comment, however, but they say they're going to launch what they are calling an aggressive defense. I have no doubt they will launch an aggressive defense. It's kind of hard to defend it when you've got these two brothers basically describing the fact that he paid them to do exactly what he said happened in the dark alleyway. I suppose that they are just, they're just lying. And the $3,500 was for supplements and a workout program. He could have saved money if he'd gone to the Rich Solution. Just saying. Speaking of money, tax refunds, they are larger by an average of $22 after the 5th week of filing season. But wait, I didn't get a refund. The government and tax and Trump. You see, this is how this actually works. You have to wait until the information comes out. The average tax refund, $22 higher than a year ago after the 5th week of Internal Revenue Service filings. They've gone through all these, all the tax returns at least. The average 2019 tax refund so far rose to $3,068. That is up 0.7% from $3,036 the same time last year. I don't know. Seems like a good thing. Although you still want to get zero money back from the government at the end of tax season. Because if you get a refund, that means you gave them an interest-free loan for, the entire year. And they took your money and, if Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez had anything to say about it, they'd be taking your money and using it to rebuild or retrofit or whatever it is that we're going to do with all of the buildings in this country over the next 10 years. So far, the agency has processed almost 57 million returns. That is about 3.7% less than last year at this time. It has received 59.2 million returns of an expected 150 million returns this year. Whew. I mean, it sounds like a party if you really want to go through everybody's tax return, except Trump's. They haven't gotten Trump's. He needs to show us his tax returns. And it was a very bad couple of days for not only Ethiopian Airlines and the 157 souls lost aboard that plane crash, but Boeing as well. The Ethiopian Airlines Boeing 737 that crashed yesterday morning. It was on its way from Addis Ababa to Nairobi. It killed all 149 passengers and 8 crew people on board. Interesting statement from the airline. We hereby confirm that our scheduled flight ET-302 from Addis Ababa to Nairobi was involved in an accident today. That's one way of looking at it. Hell of an accident. Later confirming a report by Ethiopia's Fana Broadcasting Corporation that there are no survivors. This is the second crash of this plane, of this model plane, in 4 or 5 months. China, I believe one of their China Airlines, one of their planes went down as well. So now the Chinese airlines have grounded their fleet of these 737s. Apparently, it's a new design. Makes you wonder if there might be something wrong with it. If 2 of them are going down in the same, and I'm bell deficient. I apologize. I apologize if I've been bell deficient. If two of these have gone down in the past 5 months, could be a really bad flaw. I guess any flaw that makes a plane crash would be considered a bad flaw. Speaking of things that are flying, North Korea is preparing to launch a rocket. Also bellworthy, satellite photographs say that North Korea appears to be either launching a missile or possibly a space rocket. Less than 2 weeks after our president, Donald Trump, met with Kim Jong-un to try and bring an end to that country's nuclear weapons program. So is this Kim Jong-un sticking a sharp stick in the eye of America, or are they just trying to launch a space rocket? Who wouldn't want to launch a space rocket? Aerial images of a facility at Sanamdong near Pyongyang that shows cars, lorries, and cranes have arrived there at the site. The factory was where North Korea built its first intercontinental ballistic missiles capable of reaching the U.S. Again, this activity comes after two U.S. think tanks and South Korea's spy agency said this week that the North was also rebuilding a rocket launch site at Sohae in the west of the country. Experts believe the activity is probably connected. They're not saying for sure, but they think it might be. When you put all that together, that's really what it looks like when the North Koreans are in the process of building a rocket. This is Jeffrey Lewis, the director of the East Asia Non-Proliferation Project at the Middlebury Institute of International Studies in California. How the hell does he fit that on a business card? Other experts are skeptical. Joel Witt from 38 North, a website which analyzes activity in North Korea, said to Reuters, he said, in the past, there have been multiple reports about activity at this place that turned out to be false alarms. So there. We'll just keep an eye on things to let you know how it turns out. All right, back over to the Twitter, Larky F and Fark, and what I learned I really don't need to hear about plane crashes so close to MoJoCon 2019. I would just recommend not taking one of the later model 737s. But it does make you think. I mean, it does make you stop and wonder if you are going to be taking a flight. I think it is within the boundaries of common sense, and you have every right to ask if this is in fact the plane. Because doesn't Southwest Airlines fly a bunch of these new ones? American just ordered 100 of them, and they've been delivered, I think, 33 of these planes.
The 737s?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you said it, and since Ron is an official pilot.
I'm a private pilot. I'm not a commercial pilot.
But that's okay. You know how to fly an airplane. Got any theories as to what's going on with these?
I think it's computer software related, quite honestly.
Well, and again, we talked about that last week, the fact that now when you are flying a jet, once you're sitting on the runway in these things, don't you push a couple buttons, and is it at that point, do you have to like push those switches and levers to make the thing lift off the ground?
There's still a lot of levers and switches that have to be done, but here's the thing. I think it's probably going to wind up being either a computer software, like a software update or something like that, that wasn't fully tested or whatever the case may be, or pilot error. And, if they figure out that both of these 737s went down with the same issue, it could be one of those two. There's always a lot of stuff in the plane that you have to be aware of. A lot of things can go wrong. I mean, you're talking about a lot of these planes are fly-by-wire now, so that they don't have
fly-by-wire.
Pulleys and wires and cables and stuff like that. Oh, it's all done with software.
It's all not mechanical.
Ones and zeros, yeah. Non-mechanical.
That's.
And you've got to think everything has
PC
to work
or Mac
correctly.
PC or Mac?
Depends.
Because if it's Mac, I'm a little bit better with it because they don't have, all the
blue screen of death.
Yes. No, with a Mac, you just
literally
get the spinning color wheel of death.
What the hell?
But that's frightening when you think about it. The fact that computers on the ground still crash and you have to reboot them. You don't want the computer running your airplane to crash. You don't want the plane to crash either.
Well, and a lot of the planes and there are specific ways to know whether it's a fly-by-wire aircraft or not, whether the control stick is on the left-hand side of the console or between your legs.
Damn it.
It's just, there's a ton of things that could happen. I would venture a guess it's either pilot error or software update.
We should ask Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Timmy would have an input.
Timmy the
on
pilot
it. Timmy
would.
the pilot would have input.
If Timmy the pilot is cruising around at 40,000 feet right now and wants to call, by the way, the new number is 202-900-5900, which spells, in case you were wondering, it spells 202-900-5900.
I was about to say, come on, tell me what that is.
Technically, if you think about it, it's 202 and then 2 of the 900 separated by 5.
Yes.
So it'd
900,
be
5900.
Yeah. So it'd be 202 and then 900, but put a 5 in the middle of the 900s, and then you have the phone number. If you remember it that way, it's a whole lot simpler. So if Timmy the pilot, if you were flying around and you have a theory, love to hear it. Larky F and Farkin, damn it, Brad, I just checked. It is a Boeing 737. Well, there are more. This is apparently the newest model of the 737. Which, by the way, haven't we already had the 747? So why are they making new old models?
Yeah, we've had a 747 and a 777.
So why are we making 737s again? I mean, why aren't they making this?
Planes. The 747s are too big for flying around in the country.
She said. Well, then why are we making the old ones? Why don't we make a 787? That's
why don't they just keep incrementing the number? Is that what you're saying?
The number's getting bigger.
I have no idea.
Leon's getting larger. Well, see, that's what's wrong with the airline industry is they're dealing with old numbers. If they would just update their numbering system so we're not dealing with older numbers on the 737, just saying.
I want to know how come they haven't gone to the 800 series yet.
Right? Because 800 is 100 more than the 700 series. And bigger is better. That's what they say. All right, big announcement coming up here in just a few minutes. So don't miss it if you're just waking up. This is your Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. No word yet on the cause of the deadly airliner crash in Ethiopia, but we could be closer to getting some answers. One of the plane's black boxes has been recovered. However, one official says the device is damaged, so we don't know how much information it will yield. Meantime, Ethiopian Airlines is taking no chances. It is not flying any of its Boeing 737 MAX 8 airliners.
The airline has grounded the fleet, it says, as an extra safety precaution following the devastating crash in which 157 people were killed. Although it isn't yet known what caused the loss of the new plane in clear weather outside Addis Ababa on Sunday, the airline says its remaining 4 737 MAX 8s won't fly until further notice. Some other groups around the world appear to be deciding to do the same. China's Civilian Aviation Authority has ordered all Chinese airlines to temporarily ground their MAX 8s, and Caribbean carrier Cayman Airways says it's temporarily grounding the 2 it operates. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
A border wall figures prominently in President Trump's budget proposal for 2020. It's due out later today. Mr. Trump reportedly plans to ask Congress for $8.6 billion for wall construction, setting the stage for another showdown with congressional Democrats. As for the deficit and debt, White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow says that spending and tax cuts the best medicine for those ills.
I don't think good growth policies have to obsess necessarily about the budget deficits and so forth.
Kudlow on Fox News Sunday. The misery index continues to soar to new heights for the embattled people of Venezuela. Already dealing with hyperinflation and shortages of food and medicine, many continue living without electricity. A nationwide blackout struck Thursday evening. The lights are back on in some places, but many areas still in the dark. On Wall Street this morning, Dow futures are down 207 points. NASDAQ futures up 22 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
It looks like you're losing.
I am.
Are you losing weight?
I am losing. I've lost about 10 pounds.
How are you doing it?
It's a funny name, but I've done it with Riduzone. RADUzone.com, and the stuff works. It's, you get into all that, the molecule this and the found in that. All I can tell you is it makes you feel full, and it keeps your mind off of wanting to overeat.
And also boosts your metabolism,
Yes,
so you're
it does.
burning more.
Yeah,
Try it today. It's going to work for you like it's worked for Brad and countless other people. Riduzone.com. RIDUzone.com.
having an extra supply of food on hand is just smart. Some people call it prepping. I call it smart. You never know what's going to happen in this world. Go to mypatriotsupply.com. You'll find out a lot of good reasons to have that food and some great prices. mypatriotsupply.com.
The 3, which is a threesome.
Yes.
But a full, I guess, foursome, and then 5-some, and then gangbang.
You're in no man's land.
Yeah.
No, you're in a lot of man's land. A lot of man's.
Brandon Morse, today at 1. MoJo 50.
Have you done it? You catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror?
I'm one of those people you don't want to see naked.
Yeah, most of us. But I mean, you look and you're going, what the?
I know.
How did I get to whatever?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible. Hey there, it's Doc Thompson and Brad Staggs to tell you about a different way to shed those pounds. This is brand new tech. It's only been around for a couple of years or so. It was based on research from the University of California that said there's a molecule called OEA that's found naturally in your body. It produces it in the Mediterranean diet, that when taken in concentrated amounts, it will actually make you feel fuller and boost your metabolism.
I've lost about 10 pounds so far.
It's amazing.
It
now,
really is cool.
A company said, we can take this to market and make this great product that'll help you. It's called RiduZone, RIDUZone.com, RIDUZone.com. Brad's worked. It's worked for Brad's, worked for me, countless other people. Go to riduzone.com and try today. You're going to love it. Riduzone.com. Remember that, RIDUZone.com.
If we weren't so bad.
To puppy rape.
I like to cuss.
Do I want to keep my penis?
Cat wants some black titty.
We wouldn't be so good. MoJo 50.
Mothership has landed.
Well, look what the cat drug in.
Oh, hey!
How you doing?
I wandered in from outside, like the lost stray animal I was.
What? Somebody gave you a key? You can get into the building now?
Yeah, actually.
Ron, we're gonna have to talk about this. You start giving keys to everybody and they just wander in, and
I know. Now I think I can just stay and live here.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's the Brandon Morse sitting over there, real Brad Staggs over here. This is your Daily Mojo. And big announcement. Huge announcement.
Huge.
Huge.
It's a huge announcement.
Nope, nobody's on the roof.
Nobody is on the roof this
Nobody's
time.
on the
This
roof.
announcement is actually the best announcement. Nobody has made an announcement this good in a long time.
Yeah, the announcement is we rearranged the furniture in the studio.
Yeah.
That's the That's the big announcement. Thank you. That took effort.
He had to move a couch.
Yeah, there's
from
a couch
one
that's
end
been
of the
moved.
room to another.
They just don't appreciate it.
They don't really care.
They don't know what it takes to putting a major radio program on the air.
I'm telling you.
Every day. They have no idea.
That's right. That's right. And to move one shelf to another place. It is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Because you know how much stuff is on that shelf?
A lot. And each little item has to be taken off.
Individually.
Jeez. What do they think this stuff happens by magic?
And then it has to be arranged.
Actually, the announcement involves the Brandon Morse, who will, Wednesday? Wednesday will be joining this program, the Daily Mojo, on a regular basis.
On the permanent.
For 2 hours.
On the reg.
The second 2 hours. So he will join for the second 2 hours. For the first hour, we will, and we toyed with all kinds of little scenarios. We toyed with moving the showtime around.
Yeah.
But we're going to keep the Daily Mojo right where it is. So the first hour will be guy behind the glass, Ron.
Yeah.
Rondolph.
Rondolph is
says he's a pilot.
Oh, he's a pilot
says he
now?
can fly airplanes.
Now he's a pilot?
Yeah, he's an economics major and a pilot, apparently.
The other day he was a wizard.
Right.
Then he was a Jedi.
He's a pilot. He was a ballerina one day.
Oh.
It looked
that
really
was
nice.
Beautiful.
If you've never seen a guy in a tutu, no judging.
Yeah, no
judging.
Yeah.
But then the second hour, the second and third hour of your Daily Mojo, it will be moi and Brandon Morse.
This guy.
So the two of us will hold down this table.
Yeah.
We will hold down this program for the final 2 hours. Immediately following this program will be the Morse Code, which will be an hour long.
Yep.
I can't believe I'm getting all this right.
Yeah, no.
So far I'm getting 100. Immediately following, and that will be from 11 until noon Eastern Time. That would be EDT right now, Eastern Daylight Time.
Eastern Daylight.
Following the Morse Code at noon Eastern Daylight Time, from noon until 3, it will be the Conservative Cartel. It will be Matt Locke in here, Ron behind the glass over there. And then from 3 to 5, the rest of the schedule stays the same, essentially. 3 to 5, Sam Sorbo. From 5 to 7, Jeremy Hansen Unleashed. The Rants of Izzo will continue from 7 until 9. And let me explain our decision there as well, is the fact that, honestly, Izzo's killing it at night. And we didn't want to disrupt the flow of that show. And I talked to him yesterday, and he said, you don't mind if I come busting in on the Daily MoJo, because he's going to be down here.
Yeah.
He's moving down to Texas finally.
We're all consolidating down here.
He's sick of Chicago. Go figure.
Yeah, who'd have thunk?
I would never have imagined that. But so Izzo will be moving down here, and yeah, so you'll still see his ugly mug and his micro penis and everything else will be popping in and out from time to time, and a little cross promotion the other way.
Yeah,
pop in on his show. I wonder if did he ever get his big ass dildo thing?
You know what? Did he, Ron?
Oh.
Ron Duff?
Did you ever give him the big one? No. That's what they all say.
Ron kept it for himself.
Exactly. From 9 until 10 each night, the Defenders of American Liberty. Did I get that right? Defenders of American... Defenders Live. We still haven't been sued for that? I'm surprised Marvel hasn't sued us yet. I mean, if I were them, I would.
It's the live part that keeps us out of legal trouble.
Well, then let's just call it Defenders, because you know what happens when...
Because then we would be in legal trouble.
That's okay. You know what a lawsuit... You know what kind of instant promotion a lawsuit would bring?
No such thing as bad press.
Yeah, just spell the name right. I mean, we got nothing. We have no money, so you can sue us. Damages? Okay. Blood, turnip, you can't get it. So, Defenders Live is from 9 until 10, and then Monday and Friday is it's not Battle for Freedom. No, it's Battle. Is it Battle for Ron? Help me out. After Defenders, Monday and Friday is what?
Battle for Freedom.
Is Battle
Watson
for Freedom?
Prunier.
Yeah, but that's only Monday and Friday.
Monday and Friday.
Well, we couldn't afford to pay him for the rest of the week.
Correct.
By the way, we're still all doing this for absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Just so you know. We're not getting rich yet. We're not making any money yet.
We're bringing this to you out of the goodness of our hearts and the assuagement of our egos.
Yes. Remember, I never wanted this job. I never wanted this chair. I never want to be over here doing this. But here I am, because you know who decided to go for a jog. You know, my therapist says it's too much caffeine.
Is it?
That's what they say. I think it's...
I think it's the cocaine. I would say...
It could be. Certainly not the hookers. Can't afford them anymore.
Well, yeah. We had to trim back a little bit on the trim. Ding, ding.
Remember, drugs are only a problem if you can't afford them.
Yeah.
So I have a problem now.
Let's see. So thank you all for such a warm welcome.
So, yeah.
Jack Hole of Wisconsin says, congrats, Brandon Morse. Wish it was Rants of Izzo. But you'll do.
Believe me, Izzo's not going anywhere. He's playing his own role.
Yeah.
Which is, you know what they say.
Hey.
Yeah. So he's not going to. He'll still be there. Rants of Izzo will still be there every evening, and he will, on occasion, be on this program as well. So it is simply a matter of using the resources that we have. By resources, I mean people willing to work for free, and moving them into the right slots and the right positions. Because again, somebody decided to take a jog on the railroad tracks.
Yeah.
If you hadn't done that, we'd have, all this would have been just dandy.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. What a selfish man.
Damn it. I'm saying. So that is the...
And by the way, I just want to point out something. Doc Thompson died because he was motivated to exercise.
Yes.
All right?
Yeah.
What have we learned?
Don't exercise.
Don't exercise. Don't go out there.
Do not jog.
It's dangerous. There are trains rolling around.
Very bad. Very, very bad. You know, by the way, you know who does not need Riduzone?
Who does not need Riduzone?
The people in Venezuela.
Oh yeah,
it's a different. It's a different method they have of losing weight. It's
what they have is called Ridua of food.
Right. I mean, we considered actually taking as a sponsor Ridua food, but then we thought, you know what? Food good.
Yeah.
Chicken too tasty.
Yeah, exactly.
We like food. Sometimes we like it a little too much, which is why Riduzone exists. Because in this country, Lord knows we have enough food.
Yeah.
Just about everybody. If you are battling the bulge battle, if you're bulging the battle, if you're fat and you don't want to be fat,
that
here's
gets
the
a half-hearted.
Right? Yes. Thank you. It was the best I could do in such short notice. If you don't want to be fat and you want to find a way to not be fat, and you've tried everything else, because believe me, I know it's tough. I really do. I feel you. It's tough.
Yep.
You may need a little extra push, as they say. And that's what you get in Riduzone. It's got this little molecule called OEA, which of course stands for... exactly. Thank you. And when you take this OEA, it's something that actually naturally occurs in your body. You find it a lot in the Mediterranean diet as well. But what happens is that this OEA, this molecule, this OEA thing...
It's it's called Aureolette.
Right.
Hand lotion.
Right.
Midas.
You may have heard of it.
Yeah.
Oreos and hand lotion.
That's right.
Don't try to take those individually.
Don't do
Just let Riduzone combine the ingredients in the right way. Go to riduzone.com and you will find a special promotion on 3 bottles, I believe. Riduzone.com if you are ready to lose that unwanted fat. If you're ready for your headlines, guess what? It's time.
We've scoured news platforms and agencies around the globe for today's most profound news headlines. Presenting them now, here's Brad Staggs.
No!
Oh,
we can finally get that fixed.
I know!
It's Brandon Morse.
It's Brandon.
Yes.
It is that guy.
Yeah.
He's going to do the headlines today, as he will from here on out, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Lucky
Pretty
you.
much my
You'll have a
job
little
now.
something extra in your paycheck.
Oh, man. An extra pat on the back.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, let's read the first one. Michigan man receives congratulatory telegram 50 years later.
Better late than never.
That's what I always say.
Right?
A man who graduated from the University of Michigan in 1969 has finally received a congratulatory telegram from family.
What
from
year?
1969.
69. That's an obvious sexual reference there.
From he finally so he graduated. From 69. 50 years ago. Robert Fink received a Western Union telegram this year. Western Union ended its telegram business back in 2006.
Why?
I know.
Why?
I would love to receive a telegram.
That and the Pony Express, 2 of the best inventions.
The telegram originally arrived in 1969 at the Ann Arbor apartment Fink shared with 3 classmates a day after he had left to attend graduate school in New York. Christina Zask rediscovered the telegram in December after removing the bottom drawer.
Christina's what?
Christina Zask.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you said something else.
That sounds like a like a superhero alter ego.
Yes, it does.
Zask.
Yes, it does.
Rediscovered the telegram in December after removing the bottom drawer of an old filing cabinet, now owned by Ann Arbor-based digital marketing agency Icon Interactive, to retrieve a piece of paper that had fallen inside. I looked inside, mostly because I was curious to see an actual telegram. Zask, because who's not?
Yes. You see, the first thing I would have thought of is how much can I get for it on eBay?
Exactly. This is like the last telegram. Saw the name on the paper and used the internet to find him and return the note. Fink is now a professor at Oakland University in Rochester, a Detroit suburb that's about 45 miles northeast. Neath.
That's a short. That's
a shortened version of northeast. You're welcome.
That's an AOC-ism.
Just coined the Neath. Neath. It was I was surprised to learn that he had never received the telegram and was glad that I could reunite it with its intended recipient all of the years later, Zask said.
See?
Fink said that the letter has brought back memories and made him reflect on his old connections at Old 69.
Old 69.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a very encouraging story.
Right? Right?
A long-lost telegram.
Yes.
Reunited.
Yes.
With its long-lost owner.
Absolutely.
From, obviously, more interesting, better days.
By the way, remember, one of these is not real.
Yes.
So.
Oh, yeah, I should mention that.
Yeah.
All of these headlines are true with the exception of one.
It's not even your first day. It's like your pre-first. It's your
It's like,
pre.
yeah.
It's your.
It's my,
it's that. It's that. Exactly.
Ah, man. You'll have to pardon me. I was up very late last night. Very, very late. Through no fault of my own.
Cut back on the hookers and blow, and you won't.
No, I can't afford the hookers anymore.
So it's just the blow.
It's just the blow. Yeah. Vermont.
Making a little extra money on the sides.
I got to do what I got to do.
That's right.
I'm the one charging the same as downtown.
Right.
Vermont town elects goat as mayor. Fairhaven, a 3-year-old Nubian goat, named Lincoln, is poised to become the first pet mayor of the small Vermont town of Fairhaven. The nanny goat was chosen this week by townspeople for the one-year post at the community's town meeting day. Lincoln takes office on Tuesday. Tamaye. The ballot of 16 pets was open to all town residents. Most of the other candidates were dogs and cats. A gerbil named Crystal was also a candidate. Lincoln, with 13 whole votes, beat out a dog named Sammy that received 10. The other candidates combined for 30 votes. During its time as mayor, Lincoln will be expected to attend local events such as marching in the Memorial Day Parade wearing a custom-made sash.
Perhaps a tutu.
Perhaps a tutu. Rondolph can teach him how to wear that.
Jealous.
Yeah. It'll be really cute.
Yes, it will.
I'd be concerned that he'd eat the sash, to be honest with you.
Ron or the goat?
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Drugstore chain to change its on-hold music. A Massachusetts doctor who pleaded with CVS to change its on-hold jingle is getting the wish. The Boston Globe reports a spokeswoman for the pharmacy chain said Friday the company is in the process of updating its voice response phone system, including the on-hold music that Dr. Stephen Schlossman.
Well, of course, Mr. Schlossman. Mr. Schlossman, you have a call on line 2.
Mr. Schlossman.
Mr. Schlossman.
Mr. Schlossman.
It's really mean to make fun of somebody's name.
Is it though? Because
it's fun, but it's mean.
Schlossman just is asking for it. Like, I feel like he kind of deserves it, and he knows that.
Thank you for calling Schlossman and Schlossman.
CVS spokeswoman Amy Langtot. These names today.
Easy for you to say.
Did not clarify whether the company is replacing the tune or improving sound quality. That's big news. Big news. Iowa town tried to convince Kirsten Gillibrand to eat a live tarantula. Yeah. Yeah. We had a huge thing on tarantulas just the other day, didn't we?
Yes. And that one that ate they said, what was it, the size of a dinner plate?
Yes.
And it was eating the possum?
It was eating a possum.
That is just...
Now we're back. We're back with the spiders.
Now it's a tarantula on a dinner plate.
On a dinner plate, that's right. Assuring the New York Senator the custom has been observed by 7 generations of proud Saylorville citizens. Several bored Iowans reportedly decided Friday that they would try to convince visiting White House hopeful Kirsten Gillibrand that it's local tradition to eat live tarantulas. It would sure mean a lot to us, ma'am, if you were to participate in our time-honored custom of taking at least one really big bite out of a living, breathing spider, said resident Jonathan Buckley, who, along with dozens of on-looking neighbors, struggled to keep a straight face as he watched the contender for Democratic nomination consider sinking her teeth into a large, hairy arachnid they placed on the plate in front of her a few moments earlier. Every presidential candidate who comes through town does it. Obama did it. Bill Clinton did it. Oh, and they all swallow it, too.
Thank you.
So don't spit it out.
Right?
This is how we honor our town's founder, John B. Saylor, who in the harsh winter of 1850 had to eat tarantulas every day just to survive.
Oh, I would have died. That would have been... You ever eaten a bug?
I would have rather...
I don't like bugs.
I would much...
Oh, it's working. The phones are working.
Yeah,
thanks.
I
was like, what? Ron, you're talking, but you're not talking.
The voice from beyond.
It's Ron from the future.
Yeah, it is. That's future Ron. They're called. Have you ever eaten a bug?
On accident.
You've never eaten intentionally a bug?
No, I never no.
One day, Chef Patrick brought in the was it crickets? It was fried crickets.
Yeah.
And they weren't alive; they were fried. But I had one.
Yeah.
Doc wouldn't eat one.
He wouldn't. I don't blame him.
See, but. One of the legs got caught in my throat. It was like, no one of those little bastards can crawl a wall. They're like, they hook on. So I can't imagine a tarantula.
Not for me, man. Not for me. No. There's a reason that we have such an instinctual rejection of insects.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Legs in the throat is one of them.
And they're hairy.
They're hairy.
Ugh. Don't eat anything that's hairy.
Yeah. Unless I'm pretty hairy, dude. And
I'm not eating you. Not unless you, well, how much money you got first? Let's not be so hasty on this.
Not the same as downtown, Brad. Not the same as downtown.
Everybody has their price. Baby needs a new pair of shoes.
Yeah. People wonder why they chose me for to be on the Daily Mojo every day.
And now you know.
Now you know. Arthur Dubois is a 70-year-old grandfather and a newly discovered hip-hop artist.
You can't be that old and do hip-hop.
Well, apparently you can, Brad.
You'll break a hip.
This week, DoJo walked into Haven Studios, a music mentoring program on the south side of Chicago that supports young, aspiring artists.
Aha.
Keyword young.
Yes. Young, hot.
Young,
artist.
hot, yeah.
Is he hot?
I'm going to assume, 72-year-old dude is pretty hot.
Just checking. Okay.
So the owner of Haven Studios, Andre Add2 Daniels, his name is Andre Add2.
Add2.
Add, and then the number 2,
so
Daniels.
+2.
Yes.
Andre +2.
Andre +2.
I like that.
Said DuBois claimed that he was, quote-unquote, young at heart. So Daniels decided to listen to DuBois' music. He was quickly floored. In one track, the song kicks off with a high-pitched clinking, then quickly gets joined by louder synthetic tones and a stronger beat. The music feels youthful, and it's easy to imagine DuBois' beats blasting in a dance club. In a style that DuBois said is entirely self-taught, he first started teaching himself to produce hip-hop beats about 6 years ago, after he retired. Okay.
All right, so one of those
is
not
fake.
real.
One of those is fake.
Quick
You tell
recap.
us which one it is, but before we reveal it,
Yes.
Brad.
Yes. Quick recap. It's the
sorry.
It's the hip hop. It's the spider.
It's the 70-year-old hip hop. It's Gillibrand and the Spider. It's the drugstore chain changing its music.
On hold. All right.
Vermont town Alexa Goat Mayor. Okay, and Michigan man receives telegram 50 years after intended delivery.
Ron, you have an idea? You have an idea which one's fake? You don't know.
Ron doesn't know a damn
I've
thing.
been dicking with the phone. Sorry.
Wow, this will make for an interesting segment then. In the
Real
meantime,
let's
let's
get real
Goat Mayor.
Schlossman. Goat Mayor?
Yep.
Okay.
See, he's phoning it in today, literally. He's literally phoning it in. Thank you. If you go to American Pride Roasters Coffee, that is you will find the most excellent coffee anywhere in this or any other alternate universe, and they have absolutely no flavor that is remotely akin to tarantula.
Yes.
Nothing. I mean,
They are tarantula free and cricket free.
well, I don't know about the crickets. I just know about the tarantulas.
Oh.
I mean, there might be crickets in them. I don't know, but I haven't tasted that yet. But
DMXDM? Do you put crickets in your junk?
It might. It could happen. I mean, if DM thinks he could make a profit by doing it, you better believe it. In the meantime, though, if you go to American Pride Roasters, you will find Uranus Hertz blend. That's the Doc Thompson blend, of course. You'll find the P-Hat Matte blend. You'll find the classic roast, the MoJo 50 classic roast. It is all fabulous. It just depends on what your tastes are. And we will not judge no matter what you choose. Don't forget the coffee drops, too, at American Pride Roasters. That's the two best things on planet. Two of the three best things on planet. Two of the four best things on planet Earth. Coffee and chocolate combined into one amazing little thingy that you can put in your mouth and eat. Oh, yeah. AmericanPrideRoasters.com. That's APR Coffee. It's the best. It is just the best. That's their new slogan. by the way.
Yes.
It's the best, just the best. All right, so Ron went with the goat. He phoned in the goat answer. And in the interest of total transparency, which I always come clean. Rule number 3, I already know which one it is. So you sitting at home or in your car, if you chose
Tarantula!
Whoa!
Tarantula!
Ron's acting all disappointed.
I know,
it.
he's so
shucks,
mad.
I didn't. No one can see you, so it doesn't matter. You don't have to act like you're part of it. So they didn't try to force her to eat or convince her to eat a tarantula.
Sadly, they did not do that. Kirsten Gillibrand, as you know, is a female Democrat, and trying to convince her to do anything that is a joke or funny in any kind is a sin. It's a mortal sin.
You'd have to have a sense of humor.
Well, yeah, and we know that sense of humor nowadays is completely forbidden. It's a taboo thing to have.
Bolton, you will not laugh at things. You will not say funny things. That could hurt someone's feelings.
We will not tolerate the hurting of people's feelings.
Jeez. And they don't see it. They don't have a clue. They don't have a clue.
No, they do not have a clue. And I mean, they do not have a funny bone in their body, which makes it very difficult nowadays for funny people or people with sense of humor. I shouldn't say that we're funny.
No. We're not, and you know what? We don't do self-deprecating humor because we're just not good at it.
We're horrible at it.
Right? Yeah,
the worst. But yeah, so obviously, if they had tried to get her to eat a tarantula, that would have made headlines.
Eat my tarantula.
Yeah.
Hey, you eat my tarantula.
The male patriarchy's out there trying to force something down a woman's throat, but we're not going to take it, ladies.
Nope. Something hairy, too.
Oh!
Nothing like a hairy tarantula. You know, there's some sad news that I hadn't gotten to yet, so we'll get to it right now.
Oh, I got here just in time for the sad
Yeah,
news.
you did get just in time. You walked in, and we have the sad news that the last surviving daughter of baseball legend Babe Ruth, she died yesterday.
Oh, no.
She was 102.
Oh.
She was at that point, aren't you going, geez, how much longer I got?
Yeah, no, because why would you want to live that long?
If it hurts to pee and you start to stink, it's time to go, according to Sam Kinison. She, Julia Stevens was her name. Her son said she was 102 years old. She died at an assisted living facility in Henderson, Nevada. After a short illness, she will be buried in New Hampshire. I just paused there because it was always the dumbest line from What About Bob? New Hampshire? That he would always say, I just pause when I say New Hampshire now.
That's just, is that before my time?
It was probably used to have never noticed it.
Are you just old?
Yeah, pretty much. She used to live in New Hampshire. She would have been 103 in July.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's that whole thinking, I can't believe I'm going to be. My dad couldn't believe he was going to be 90, so he died at 89.
Yeah.
Doc couldn't believe he's going to be 50, so he died at 49. I'm telling you, don't start doing this. I can't believe I'm going to be whatever, because next thing you know,
I'm going to be 39 in a few years.
Right? It's your Daily Mojo.
A free exchange of ideas. Mojo 50.
Many believe that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is close to losing all control of the House, a position that she covets. But to whom is she losing control? It's becoming more clear each day that it's not just a new freshmen in Congress who are attempting to overthrow the Queen, but it is something far more sinister that is creeping into Congress. Let me explain. Recently, a journalist and leader in the Muslim reform movement videotaped her attempt to enter Representative Rashida Tlaib's office along with others. The journalist was there to report on Linda Sarsour's #IStandWithIlhan lobbying campaign for Congresswoman Omar following her recent anti-Semitic statements. As the journalist attempts to enter Tlaib's office, the video appears to show Linda Sarsour, who is accompanied by Nihad Awad, the executive director of the Council on American Islamic Relations, or CAIR, also approaching Tlaib's office. However, before Sarsour goes inside, she can be heard on the video barking orders to her entourage in Arabic, reportedly directing them to block the journalist from entering Tlaib's office. The translation of what Sarsour said to her group is, quote, "Don't let her be one of the first ones in. Do you hear me? Come stand here. Don't let her be one of the first ones in." Later that same day, Sarsour was photographed standing in front of Representative Ilhan Omar's office, along with CAIR officials. The next day, the House passed a resolution condemning anti-Semitism and other bigotry without specifically condemning Omar for her anti-Semitic statements, as many had petitioned the House to do. Coincidence? You decide. And that's today's Reality Check with Susan Knowles.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month, based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395.
The Daily Mojo.
And don't forget, our phone number is 202-900-5900. That's 202-900-5900, which we decided is 202 and then 2 900s divided by a 5.
That's a lot of math.
Or it is 2029-005-90. Oh. See? That's an easier way to remember it.
202-900-5900.
Yes.
202.
Right. Or 2029-005-900. Oh. And you know what that spells?
202-900-5900.
Damn, that's good. You're right.
Yeah,
I
was like reading it, and I was like, let's see what it says.
That's really good. That's really good.
My apologies to everybody for the New Hampshire comment.
No, don't.
I didn't know.
Right, no, and it was me. It wasn't. No. See, first thing you have to learn is that stinking duck just likes to get in there and stir the pot.
Oh, no, I was, Lori F&D mentioned it too, and I love Lori F&D. I love Lori F&D.
You know what?
She's my gal.
The two of them can come in here and sit down. They can do this. They can come in here.
They can come in and
figure
do
out
it themselves
which buttons
and
to
give
push,
us a week off,
try
maybe.
and come up with 3 hours of crap to talk about just so you can sit there in your car at home and go, I'm listening. All you have to do is listen.
Hey, we got somebody who wants to talk about the 737s if we can get the phones to work.
Wow, that would be a miracle.
That would be awesome.
All right, hold on. Oh, it's Timmy the pilot. Hey, buddy. Timmy the pilot's on the line.
Timmy!
Hey, man. Hey, can you guys hear me? My phone's working. Is yours?
Yeah. Now it is. Ron behind the glass he's been feverishly working on it. So I don't know what he did. He probably poured water into the board, but it works now.
I think somebody tripped over the string on them soup cans. Anyway, good deal.
It could happen. Yeah.
Hey, I got a bone to pick with Morse here real quick. He never announced who won that auction, and Ron says it was me. So congratulations to me.
You didn't announce it?
It was my bad. Jason and I got to talking about some stuff, and then I completely forgot about it after Suspicious Package Friday.
Wow.
That was my fault. I actually thought about that as I was walking out the door, too. I stopped because I kept feeling like I was forgetting something.
Yeah.
And I walked back in here, and I was like, what's going on?
You know, with what we pay you to be here, we expect a little higher standard of professionalism.
That's true. That's true.
That's exactly right. I'll give him a mulligan this time, but good deal. What's up with the? Yeah, well, not really, but what's up with the 737 MAX 8s? Having a little bit of problem, are they?
That's our question for you. You being a professional type pilot, and do you have a theory? I mean, first of all, it's not every 737, right? The ones that have crashed have been a certain, like the latest model of it.
Yeah, they're the 737 MAX 8s, they call them. Newest ones they have out. I don't like to speculate about anything like that.
But if you had to, I mean, everybody has a theory, so.
Okay. The other one that crashed was, I believe, back in October. I think that was in Indonesia.
That's
MAX
it. Yes.
8.
Yep.
And they think, just from idle chatter amongst all of us, we have a lot of sensors on these airplanes that tell the computers a lot of things about what's going on with the aircraft.
Right.
And there's some kind of a problem with that they believe, but that's inconclusive.
The sensor
from everything we've seen, we've got sensors that give us attitude indications, XYZ axis type stuff like that's recorded on the black boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Speed and all that, altitude, whatever, vertical, horizontal positions.
Right.
But they're kind of leaning toward a sensor issue. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't like to speculate, but
you did. That's okay.
Yep.
Well, and Ron was saying, and he brought up a good point. These new planes are now they're not electromechanical really. They're all zeros and ones for the most part, or no?
Oh well, some planes like the fly-by-wire planes has got a little joystick on your left-hand side there.
Mm-hmm.
That gives them inputs to the computer, which actuates hydraulic systems. We steer and control attitude with hydraulics, but it's all done. If you're using a joystick on some of the aircraft, it's inputs to the computer.
Mm.
And the plane I fly is a 777 777, and we still have a yoke between our legs, thank God. And that pretty much controls hydraulics for the ailerons and rudder and such like that.
Well, but this is technology moving forward that things are controlled now by sensors and logic boards and all zeros and ones.
Right. Out of curiosity, how often does something like that fail? How super rare is it?
Oh, it's extremely rare.
Yeah,
extremely rare. We have a lot of redundant.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so if it gets struck by lightning or something like that, there's redundant systems to
rebooting.
Yeah. Do you plug it, unplug it, and plug it back in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a lot of redundant systems on the aircraft that, in case one system fails, another system will take over.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of built-in redundancies. So it's extremely rare. And there was actually what they call an emergency AD aircraft directive that was given out to all the airlines that fly the MAXs.
Right.
And it said it said, from what I've seen, I haven't seen the directive yet, but what it said was immediately disengage the autopilot and fly by hand. And I'm just kind of curious if that airline went along with that aircraft directive, that emergency aircraft directive.
Right.
Because it seems like they just took off. He was only 6 minutes into flight when something happened, and he was talking about rapid vertical changes in the aircraft attitude. And, you know, maybe they were just too engrossed with what was going on and failed to disengage the autopilot. I don't know. That's
Right.
another speculation,
Sure,
which
sure.
I don't like to do.
No, I understand.
So it could be anything. The one thing that I'm really saddened by was the loss of life. You know,
Of course,
that was
yes.
a bad day for them. That was a bad day for them guys. So
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, our thoughts and prayers are definitely with everybody involved in that.
Oh, absolutely. And when the Indonesian plane went down, there were how many? Were there any survivors from that one?
You know, actually, I don't know if there was. I think there might have been. I don't remember the story real well. But there may have been, but I don't. You'd have to look that up. I don't remember.
Let's see. That was the blah 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 blah. Nope. But it's the same model. This is a plane crash. Indonesia last year, 189 on board, and don't know if they if any of those survived. But yeah, it's obviously there's something. I mean, it's either an incredible coincidence or there's something going on. I mean, that's the two conclusions you can draw.
Yeah, kind of, you know, like the way I was talking about with the sensors and stuff. There could be a problem with that, but
Sure.
I think we'll just let the NTSB do their job, and and everybody involved will figure this out. And Southwest does fly these 737 MAX 8s too, by the way, and they're not shutting down any of them.
Well, and didn't American just order, I think, 100 of these things? They've been delivered 33, so it's you know. It's,
a lot of countries been ordering them because they're extremely fuel efficient, and they're the MAX. They're the extended range MAX for get more range out of them, and they're a lot more efficient as far as fuel burn and stuff like that.
Right. Well,
so they'll figure it out. So it's a sad day. So I really can't give you any more information than that.
No, I think that's great that as somebody who does this every day, I knew you'd have an opinion, so I'm glad you could share it with us.
Yeah, it's more than happy to, and I'm just wanting. We're going to stop here in Tampa shortly and pick up a whole bunch of them snakes that they're gathering in the Everglades and bringing them back to Fort Worth for you guys to admire.
Nice.
If you find any tarantulas,
leave them there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Snakes I can take. Tarantulas.
Well, these are about 15 foot. What do they call them? The pythons, I guess. They got the.
Sure, they do.
Yeah.
The. Yeah, you guys might enjoy some of them, so we'll drop some off your way.
Bring them
one
on.
more quick thing. One more quick thing is that we are chemtrailing today. So if you look up in the sky, you're going to see a whole bunch of chemtrailing going on. This is National Chemtrail Day.
You're turning the freaking frogs gay.
Yes, that's what it is. You're obviously seeding the clouds. No wonder it's going to rain here in Texas.
That's right. We're bringing more rain and nice big thunderstorms to you, and I hope you enjoy it. I got to get out of here. We
Thank you so much.
got the 20-minute warning here.
All right.
I got to
go back.
Bring the bird down.
Go back to flying plane. Thanks, Timmy.
Sorry, Timmy, about not announcing your win.
Talk later. Bye. It's rather ironic that over here on the new phone system, that to hang up on somebody, you click drop. So you just dropped. You just dropped Timmy. I was going to say the first thing, though, Brandon, you have to remember, you have to learn is do not let the jackholes get underneath you.
Oh,
well, you let them get underneath you.
Let's not
Don't let
speak
them
too
under your
hasty
skin.
here, but
I mean, there's some of them that are pretty hot, except for that one guy.
Yeah.
Just saying.
He knows who he is.
Of course he does.
He knows who he is. No. It's all good. It's I can roll with the punches. It's okay.
Remember, it goes both ways.
I do. Yeah.
So the stinking duck.
That's
or is that just a rumor? Remember
I
the guy?
We'll never know until MoJoCon.
Oh, we'll know. We'll know. You can look at him and tell. Remember the Florida guy who reached across the the counter there and slapped the girl, grabbed her by the collar? Because
I did not hear about this, but it sounds like something Florida man would do.
It's a couple of months ago. He apparently the reason was he couldn't find a straw. So he got pissed off at the girl behind the counter and grabbed her by the collar and wouldn't let it, and she started hitting him. It took 2 or 3 people to come over and break up the fight. Pinellas County judge has ordered 40-year-old Daniel Willis Taylor to, number 1, stay away from the restaurant and the workers that he attacked, and number 2, serve 60 days in jail.
Oh, 60.
Well, and he got credited with the 58 days he's already served. Apparently he's already spent a little time behind bars. He's a hardened criminal.
Well, you know, if you're grabbing ladies by the collar,
chances
are you're not exactly the best kind of person.
No, we have a word for that. It's called being a dick.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, that's yeah. He also has to pay $1,000 fine.
I bet he doesn't have $1,000.
Oh, he'll find it.
I just feel like he might. He'll mysteriously find it in a register at a store.
Yeah, he became irate when he couldn't find a straw on New Year's Eve.
Well, who hasn't?
Right?
If I had a nickel for every time. Mm-hmm. That whole straw thing is infuriating, isn't it?
Straws are dividing people.
They are dividing people.
We really have to rethink our whole thing on straws.
We really, what drives me crazy is that you have all these restaurants now going, well, look at how green and environmentally conscious we are, because now we have to ask you if you want a straw.
That's right.
And if you're lucky, you'll get a paper straw. Because
those things get soggy.
Because they are so gross, man. I don't want to deal with that. But you know what's funny? In the United States, straws make up like an nth of a percentage of the stuff that we pollute the sea with.
Yeah, but
in the U.S.
You ask Mr. Turtle. You asked Mr. Turtle, who tried to snort a straw.
Oh, I remember that guy. Oh,
yeah.
That was so painful to even watch.
You know, by the way, if you do Google that, you come up with the same image of one turtle over and over.
Really?
So there was one turtle who was...
Apparently one turtle who had he tried to snort some and got a little carried away.
Which is difficult to do under the water, by the way.
Yeah. I don't know. But, well, he's a talented turtle.
Yeah. Well, that's called survival of the species and the fittest.
Sometimes in order to survive, you just need a little pick-me-up.
You know what you can't...
he needed a pick-me-up.
You know what you can't suck up through a straw? Well, I guess you could.
What?
MoJo Wild Rice.
Oh! I mean, you could try.
I bet you could try it and see if it worked, but...
Maybe a smoothie straw.
Well, the problem is you could make a wild rice smoothie.
I
don't know.
No, they make smoothies out of plant matter all the time.
That's true. But the problem with trying to suck up wild rice, you know, if it's still in just grain form, or grass form, rather, grain grass, the grain grass of home, is that you don't get enough. Grains. You cannot get enough MoJo Wild Rice. You can't suck enough through a straw.
Just can't get enough.
Use a big spoon is what you need to use for MoJo Wild Rice because it's incredible.
Yeah.
And who would have ever thought about using wild rice to make pancakes?
Well, MoJo Wild Rice did.
Let me just tell you, if you've never had a MoJo Wild Rice waffle, not a pancake. Did I say pancake? I meant waffle. Everybody like waffles.
I'm pretty sure it'd work as a waffle, too.
Yeah.
I mean, a pancake as well.
See, now I've got you confused.
Yeah.
If you go to MoJoWildRice.com, you will find all of the absolutely incredible pancake and waffle mixes. Or whether or not there's pancakes, I don't know. But there's definitely waffles. Everybody like waffles. And if you use a spring... Thank you.
Everybody like waffles.
Parfait. Everybody like parfaits. Making waffles.
In the morning, I'm making waffles.
And if you make them with MoJo Wild Rice, you're getting like almost a complete protein. And if you do like Chef Patrick did, was that last week before, when it was like a waffle with a chicken inside it.
So it's chicken and waffles, but instead of having to just like put the chicken on there and cut it with the waffle, it's in there already.
How did he get the chicken in the waffle?
He asked it politely to climb in there.
Can you really get a chicken to do that?
Yeah.
I guess if anybody could, it'd be Chef Patrick.
Yeah, he would do that kind of thing too.
If you can get a chicken,
he's so nice that you can convince a chicken.
Yeah.
He could make a turducken by asking them nicely to crawl up each other's and then baking them. Yeah.
He's like the witch in Hansel and Gretel. He just come on over here, just get in.
That's candy inside.
But use the promo code SPRING10 at MoJoWildRice.com and get 10% off anything in the MoJoWildRice.com store. That's a spring 10 at MoJoWildRice.com. All right, what else are they doing over there in the chat room or on Twitter to piss you off?
Rule number 5, Jackal said Turtle wanted some hookers and blow. Mock the poor Turtle.
Whatever it takes to get you through the day.
Zippy the Jackal Monkey said, I'm that one guy. I know who I am. I'd say screw you both, but I'm officially rescinding the offer.
I had a friend in Nashville, and his name was Bob Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Bell was an incredible sportscaster. He had, I can't even get down as low as he. Let me try. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bob Bell.
Bob
Bell would do the
Bob
sports. He was
Bell.
on Channel 5, I believe, at one point, and he did the sports scene. And Bob Bell had an incredible voice. And Bob Bell would often stand out on the back porch of the radio station and pontificate. And as he being much older than I,
Yeah.
of course he's dead
well,
now.
when you're that old, you pontificate
Right,
a lot.
yes. But you have a lot of good things to say.
Now we just consider.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that's all we do. We used to pontificate.
But we're standing out there, and I know somebody came by and F you, just as a joke or whatever, and Bob said, why would you wish the best feeling in the world on someone in anger?
Wow. Wow.
Okay, is that not deep?
Whoa.
So when somebody says F you, I say, thank you.
That's amazing. Yeah, I never thought of it that way.
Think about that.
Because you really is when you think about it.
What's it? I can't think of a better
That's like
feeling.
a blessing upon you.
Right. F you and F you as well.
Oh, and
I mean, you could do it coming out of church.
Yeah, you could.
Except nobody in church ever talks about sex.
Well, it doesn't exist.
Well, I know one pastor who does, but that's different.
DeGare Bear, awesome Twitter name, said, Brandon Morse, come on. Real Brad Staggs is lying. He didn't have any friends.
Shut up.
F you.
F you. F you as well.
F you. And F's to you as well, sir. All the F's.
All, and the F's be upon you, my
F be
my
upon
child.
me.
Jeez. So do anything exciting this weekend?
This weekend, man, you know what? I got to spend some alone time because my fiance went to go see Casey Musgraves live in concert at the Bomb Factory.
Why didn't you go?
I'm not a huge Casey Musgraves fan. I feel like she's kind of like a Taylor Swift, though, that I could actually listen to. She's actually talented, I feel like.
I mean, for everybody who already knows, I hate to just. Is she hot? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah. But yeah, so I got to basically just do nothing this weekend.
You will find,
and it was amazing,
my young friend, that the older you get,
I love these bouts of wisdom.
Yeah, and it's just because I've lived long enough to see it happen.
Mm-hmm.
The older you get, the more you value those times during the day when there is nobody around you doing the blah 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 blah. You get to that point in life where you are just thankful that you listen and you hear nothing.
Yeah. Oh, that's
the
best.
voices of your head in your head are a different thing, but for the most part,
well, they're fun though.
Yeah, they are.
They're like, yeah, set that building on fire, kill those people.
Go next
I mean, who
door.
doesn't have that, right?
Go next door and kill them all.
Yeah.
Marsha.
For some odd reason, it sounds like Mickey Mouse. I don't know why.
But it is fabulous to be able to spend a little alone time.
Yeah, that was actually because I'm
Were you,
definitely
clothed?
well, yeah, I was relatively clothed.
Okay,
relatively. I'm an introvert by nature,
which is an odd job to have. This business, being an introvert, but I totally understand that.
Well, the funny thing is people don't really understand the difference, like, or what an introvert or an extrovert actually is. It doesn't mean that I don't want to be around people or.
Let me show you what an extrovert is.
Let
Take
me-
a look at these bad boys.
Yeah.
You like that?
I'll get you.
You like
intro
what
into
you
my
see there,
bird.
boy?
The thing about being an introvert is that you can go out and you have fun with people and you want to hang out, you want to be social.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to recharge, you go back and you just spend some alone time.
Get the hell away from the people.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I need to recharge and just forget the world for a minute. I need me time.
Yeah.
Which is weird because my fiance, she is an extrovert. She likes to be around other people. That's how she feels good at the end of the day. She gets depressed if she stays inside for long. Like, she was not feeling very well this weekend, so she had to pretty much hole up in the bedroom the entire time. And you know, she got depressed after a while. And she came in because I hadn't gone anywhere.
She wasn't talking. See, that was the problem. She wasn't getting her daily dose of words
But
in.
she goes, "Are you depressed?" And I was like, "No."
Thank you for asking. No,
I
I'm
feel
good.
superb. You kidding me? But no, that's kind of so me being able to do nothing and not really talk to anybody, and you know.
Well, see, what she had was the female version of what males get, which is DSB.
DSB. Oh, I need to hear about this.
Oh, you did. Oh, we discovered this in high school. If you get DSB, Tom knows what DSB is.
What is DSB, Tom?
DSB.
He's like, I don't know how to make things.
Come on,
I don't know how to operate the board and talk.
So DSB, as a male, is deadly sperm buildup. You know exactly what I'm saying.
That took a turn I was not expecting. DSB, deadly sperm buildup.
Yes.
Tell me about deadly sperm buildup, Brad.
When you're not getting your fair share of loving.
Yeah.
What do you get?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
By the way, that one works.
Is it?
Use that one.
It's kind of like a more.
Honey, you want me to be healthy, don't you?
It sounds like a more scientific term for blue balls.
Yeah, it is.
And so I can just be like, babe, I got some bad DSB right now.
Yes. See? So that's what, and then and females, they get they have all that blah blah blah. They're building up in them, and it causes back pressure.
Yeah.
That arm doesn't work, by the way. That's why I gave you
Did
that.
you see how I played it off?
That's why I gave you that chair.
Oh, thanks, Brad.
I hated that chair.
At some point in time, it's just going to collapse on air.
Pretty much. It'll be funny.
It will be funny.
So yeah, DSB, and then the deadly sperm buildup, the male version. I'm not even sure if they're the official term for it when women have the backup of the blah blah blah.
DBB. DBLAS.
The blah bitty blah.
The blah bitty blah back build up.
So it'd be the DBBB.
BBB.
Yeah.
The BBB.
So that's what she was fighting. So I feel bad for her. I do understand.
I do
that.
feel bad for her.
That was something real she was going through, and she had to do that.
That's right.
What she should have done is picked up her Patriot Mobile cell phone.
Because then she could have called anybody she wanted to.
She could have released all the blah blah blah.
That's right.
And she could have been doing it for less money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as a Patriot Mobile cell phone account holder, you do get great rates. They have unlimited text and calling plans, so you can get your blah 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 out either way. You can either type it out or you can say it out, or you can do the text to speech thing or speech to text. There's all sorts of ways that
you have it your way.
It really is. Have it. That's the new slogan. Have it your way at Patriot Mobile.
That's right.
If you go to patriotmobile.com/doc, you'll find the incredible offers they have. Keep your old number, keep your old phone, get a new one, get a new number. You're not going to get a number as cool as ours.
Yeah. Which is 202 900
5 900.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot of zeros in there. But
there's a lot.
We just did that for you to make it easy for you to remember.
Exactly. But you can get another number that maybe spells something.
Yeah.
That'd be a novel idea. PatriotMobile.com/doc. Just remember that when you are in the market for said cell phone coverage. So did you stay away from politics this weekend?
I stay away from politics every weekend, actually.
I do too. I need the break. I cannot.
I have to reset because, like I said last time, this is one of those businesses where you're constantly looking at a fraction of the world.
Yes.
And it's always like in conflict. And when that becomes your job, you can drive yourself a little crazy.
Oh, yeah.
You either go one of two ways. Either you burn out so badly that you just like flee from it, or you become one of those a-holes who like get so caught up and like so angry. Yeah.
So very angry.
That you start lashing out at everyone.
Yes.
Like even the people that are your allies.
It's worse than DSB, quite frankly.
I would much rather have a case of DSB.
Me too. Because then you can sit at home, be quiet, and just have an ice pack in your lap.
Exactly.
Did you see the Liz Cheney thing?
No, I did not.
Oh, she was on. It was on the anti-hate legislation. She was on Meet the Depressed on NBC.
Yeah.
First of all, I want you to listen what she calls Chuck Todd, because
appreciate it. Joining me now is the chair of the House Republican Conference, Liz Cheney of Wyoming. Congresswoman Cheney, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you, Todd. Great to be.
Did she just call him Todd?
She called him Todd.
His name's Chuck Todd.
Todd.
She said Todd. Todd. If you remember that, you remember when Saturday Night Live actually was funny.
Yeah, I miss those days.
A majority of the time.
Yeah.
So this is Liz Cheney on Meet the Depressed with Todd.
Joining me now is the chair of the House Republican Conference, Liz Cheney of Wyoming. Congresswoman Cheney, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you, Todd. Great to be back.
I want to start with what happened in the House this week, because it was a bit of a surprise. You voted against this broad resolution.
They were going to vote against broads?
Oh, what the hell?
Who's going to make the sandwich?
This is why I think, dude, the DC is so corrupt. DC is such a horrible place.
We need broads.
We need them.
And while your criticism of the resolution, I totally understand, but you were in the minority in your party. Did your fellow House Republicans make a mistake by voting with the Democrats on this resolution?
No, look, I think that there were two ways we could have gone. Some of the people in our conference clearly looked at it and said there's nothing objectionable in the resolution.
Yeah, there's nothing objectionable in the resolution, so we'll vote for it. What a bunch of pussies.
I know. Let's remember why they came up with this resolution in the first place. Because it was originally there to condemn Ilhan Omar for her anti-Semitic comments.
Yes.
And that was supposed to be a resolution to get. And then the Democrats were like, well, we can't really have this because it would point out a chink in the armor of our party.
Wow, you can't say that one either.
Oh, my God. I'm such a racist.
You're fired. First day.
Oh, damn. All right.
No, wait, don't. No, there's nobody else. Just please stay. Please don't
so
leave.
I can say
Please
whatever I
don't leave.
want.
No, you can't. Yes, you can. Damn it. But you're right. That's what this was about. And
They took it back and they were like, well, let's include everything.
Right.
Because we just need to make ourselves not look like we're targeting ourselves because of our anti-Semitism right now. But that we're just generally saying, hey, hate is bad.
Who doesn't agree with that, right?
It's a plus out.
She continued.
Statement made clear that was my view as well. But I decided to vote against it because I think it was really clearly an effort to actually protect Ilhan Omar, to cover up her bigotry and anti-Semitism by refusing to name her. The Democrats have yet to take any action to remove her from her committee. And they've got a real problem. I mean, the extent to which they are now abiding by anti-Semitism, enabling anti-Semitism in their party, is something we watch them struggle with, but something that's very dangerous for the country. So
you think?
Yeah.
She's absolutely right.
Yeah, 100%.
They did a classic blame shift.
Yes, and they do that. They're very good at Democrats.
Yes, they are
very good at. They have years and decades of practice.
And the Republicans let them do it.
Yeah,
they just let them do it. So, but there's enough blame on both sides.
No, for sure. But I would say that we'll talk about this more when we come back from break.
Actually, we have a guest coming up, and then we'll pick it up on the other side of that as well. Yeah, it's crazy how fast time goes when you're sitting next to me. It's really, that's what it's all about.
It's because it's so great to be next to you, Brad.
It's Brandon, and this is your Daily Mojo.
Wow.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The investigation of the deadly jetliner crash in Ethiopia is wrapping up, with crews having recovered one of the aircraft's black boxes. There is uncertainty, though, over how much information it will yield since it is damaged. The BBC's Emmanuel Igunza, the scene of the crash, claimed 157 lives.
Excavators have been deployed to dig through the big hole that was created when the plane hit the ground. Authorities say the focus is the recovery of the remains of more people who died on board. The aircraft manufacturer Boeing says its investigators will join the team searching for clues on why the plane crashed. Meanwhile, Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has promised a thorough investigation into the incident and vowed to make the findings public.
Ethiopian Airlines grounding all of its 737 MAX 8 aircraft, and Chinese aviation authorities have done the same. Congress gets President Trump's 2020 budget proposal today. That blueprint includes some cuts in domestic spending. Military outlays would increase. President also asking Congress for $8.6 billion for the border wall. White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow asked whether that could trigger another showdown with congressional Democrats.
I suppose there will be. I would just say that the whole issue of the wall and border security is of paramount importance.
Kudlow speaking on Fox News Sunday. The Russian defense minister is boasting about his country's military buildup in recent years. He tells Parliament that the military has commissioned more than 1,000 new aircraft and thousands of tanks in the past few years. New weaponry said to include shipborne and air-launched long-range cruise missiles. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures are mixed. Right now, Dow futures are down about 228 points, while NASDAQ futures are 30 points higher, and S&P futures currently up 6 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075.
You get great service and you do some good in the world with Patriot Mobile. Sign up for a Patriot Mobile account today. Start saving money, get great coverage, and do a little bit of good because they support companies, organizations, and candidates that you like. It's patriotmobile.com/doc. patriotmobile.com/doc.
A former Democratic National Committee member told Politico on Monday that he will become National Senior Advisor to the Draft Beto campaign. That sounds like a horrible beer, probably a Pilsner.
The Defenders with Stephen Airy, tonight at 9.
MoJo 50. Hey guys, Matt Locke, the Conservative Cartel. I'd like to take a minute and tell you about a new weight loss product that's instantly becoming part of the MoJo 50 family. It was launched by a Dallas area company who had taken the good stuff in olive oil and created a patented product that helps people control their appetite and lose weight. It's also a big help to keep the weight off. A 6-year study of former contestants from The Biggest Loser showed that when you lose weight, your body actually thinks something bad has happened, and it fights back by slowing your metabolism and boosting your appetite. One Ridgezone client, Sarah, recently lost over 100 pounds. While she looks amazing, she has been struggling every day with cravings. Now that she's taking Ridgezone, she says it's so much easier to control her appetite and she's not thinking about food all day. Ridgezone contains a patented ingredient that has been shown to boost metabolism and reduce appetite while helping you burn fat. For a short time, we have a 30% off deal for our show. Just go to ridgezone.com, RIDUZONE.com, and enter the code MATT, M-A-T-T. That's Ridgezone, RIDUZONE.com.
This is the MoJo 50 Institute for the Advanced Application of Freedom. Ya bitches.
The mothership has landed.
Melissa Mississippi just tweeted, I guess I need to add at the Brandon Morse now. Call Bob Zoo KYKU. Bob?
Q.
Is that? Oh, that does spell that.
Yeah.
Bob Zoo KU YYOO. That's a good one. See, I knew the jackholes would come up with something that the
I just rely on them to come up for all of my stuff. All the stuff that I name any segment of my show, they just come up with it.
I know.
They're brilliant.
Except for that one guy.
Except I hate that guy. He's just
a, you know, I don't even think we need to say what he is because he knows what he is.
Yeah, you know who you are and what.
So, yeah, the whole blame shifting thing that that the Democrats are so, quite frankly, brilliantly doing to shift focus away from Ilhan Omar. Nancy Pelosi got in on it over the weekend as well. This is let's see here. She was at a press conference, and someone asks her a question here. I think we can hear the... Oh, hang on one second. It would help if I had this plugged in. You see, if I have one of my producers, I only have 3 producers and 2 interns, and I can never find any of them because they're always out drinking. Here's what she said.
Ilhan Omar understands why her comments were problematic, and what happens if this happens again?
Well, first of all, thank you for the question.
Thank you. Thank you for the question.
That's Nancy Pelosi for screw you, dude.
Yeah,
I hate
that's
you so much.
That's Pelosi for I'm going to take your name down and you'll never work in this town again.
You're going to die.
Yeah.
You're going to die.
Yeah. You'll die penniless too.
I don't think that that the Congresswoman is perhaps appreciate the full weight of how it's heard by other people.
I don't believe the Congresswoman appreciates the full weight with which her comments were heard by some of the people on the other side of the aisle.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, the Democrats weren't upset about her anti-Semitism at all. This bugs the crap out of me right here because this is Nancy Pelosi essentially saying, look, despite her anti-Semitic comments, Ilhan Omar, she's not anti-Semitic. You just took it that way.
Right. It's not her. I mean, look, we're okay with infanticide.
Yeah.
We're good with that. But don't accuse her of being anti-Semitic. That's crazy.
Even though she said that Israel shouldn't be able to exist as a Jewish state, and that she accused Congress of taking Israeli money, and that's why we're so friendly with them. But don't think for 1 second that she's anti-Semitic.
You heard
idiots.
it wrong.
You stupid idiots.
That's right. You should let us govern, and you just sit there and be governed.
Just smile.
Just smile and shut up.
I believe it was intended in an anti-Semitic way. But the fact is, if that's how it was interpreted, we have to remove all doubt.
Yeah.
As we have.
Thank you.
Idiots.
Dum-dums. You stupid heads.
Over and over again. We're working now on a resolution. We'll see when we bring it to the floor that will, again, speak out against anti-Semitism. And
just not her.
Yeah,
it'll speak out against hate's bad.
We're not going to target Ilhan Omar specifically for this, even though she was the one doing it. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
But we are going to pretend like there's just, it's sad that there's hate out there.
It really is sad.
We of the Democratic Party are the only people who aren't hateful, despite the fact that we're consistently racist against males. I mean, white men, racist and sexist against white men, and we constantly are anti-Israel, and we boo God at the Christian God. We boo him at our DNC conventions and whatnot, and yeah.
You know, why don't they, and I can't believe they haven't thought of this. Why don't they just outlaw hate?
Oh my God, Brad.
Let's just make it illegal to hate. If you do that, the hate will go away.
That's true. You know what? Twitter and Facebook both have been really, and Google as well. They've been really trying to basically deplatform hate.
Right.
And it has been working out superbly. As you can see, Twitter is just a mecca of kindness.
I've never seen so much love exchanged, so many kisses and smiles, hug. I mean, it's like a...
You know, Brad, just yesterday I was on Twitter, and somebody called me a patriarchal white man who thinks he knows better. And I thought, how insightful and kind,
right,
for them to bring up my sex and my race.
Right.
Wow.
It's just...
That was insightful.
I mean, didn't it feel like one of those, like the new warm, the weighted blankets that you can buy now?
Oh, yeah. I just want to wrap myself in the love and tenderness that Twitter is nowadays.
It really is. I mean, if you haven't been on Twitter lately, you'd be amazed that it is like the yellow brick road in The Wizard of Oz.
There is just the other day, my friend.
That's a lie. You don't have any friends. Try again.
Okay. My acquaintance.
That's better. Much better.
Kathleen McKinley, she was on Twitter, and she said that sometimes radical Islamists do terrorism. And
what?
Twitter instantly suspended her, and I thought, good for them.
Yes, we don't need that sort of factual crap running around out there.
That negativity does not need to exist on Twitter. Okay?
We just need to close our eyes more with our heads in the sand.
So too. And I think that we'll just be a lot happier.
You know how warm sand is? If you put your head down in the middle of it, it's just like, you just...
Oh, it's so good.
You have to be careful, though, because if you bend over to put your head in the sand, it gets up your nose.
Yeah, and it exposes you to other things to happen to you.
Yes, it does.
But you know what? There's a silver lining to every cloud. That's what I always say.
That certainly is.
You might be getting a little bit of how do I say this politely?
Free loving?
Yes.
Right up
the backside.
From astern.
But you know what? At least you feel good.
Is astern free loving? Is that like angry sex? See,
or is
that one of these, or maybe one of these?
You can just do all three.
I will. That's like a triple.
You
threat
don't
right
need
there.
nothing holding you back, Brad. You are a strong, independent.
Today I'm identifying, by the way, as a badger.
I was just gonna ask. I didn't want to assume your identity or assume
thank
your
you.
gender.
I identify today as a very strong badger.
Yeah, yes, I like that. I'm getting a very strong badger vibe off of you.
I was going to go with platypus, but then I went with badger.
Yeah. The platypuses are kind of like the tryhards of the, because they're like, I'm a duck, but I'm also a mammal.
Right.
But hey, look at me, I'm laying eggs and
my feet, and I
have a poisonous bite.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's tryhard. It's a tryhard animal.
Maybe next week I'll be I'm a badger today. So, and the love that you get as a badger from Facebook, even. I mean, you get the love. You get like extended love on Facebook. You get the initial love on Twitter. You get the extended love on Facebook.
Yeah.
And it is really amazing how much it's like a river of love on both of those. I mean, it really is truly amazing how they've transformed. And if the government would just take a clue and outlaw hate, make it illegal to hate.
That's right. They should do it like they do in the UK, Brad, where let's say that you say something online that is, slightly disagreeable. Okay, like let's say that you tell the truth about something.
That's you.
The police can come to your door, and there is actually a video of this. They will come to your door and arrest you for simply saying something like, "Hey, how come in the public square where prayer is not allowed, the the Muslim people can have their prayers right out in the open? That doesn't seem fair." And they will come to your house and arrest you and take you to jail.
You know what? You're just not looking at the bright side, because when you're in jail, you're spending quality time alone.
That's right. That's right.
You're just looking at this.
It gives you time to reflect on.
It does.
On your sin, on your social sins.
Yeah.
And I want to say thank you to the UK police for knocking down people's doors.
Yes.
And stopping them.
Yes.
From saying such hateful things as, "Hey, that's not right," because it seems you got two different sets of rules for two different types of people.
And what's wrong with that?
Yeah, I mean, should there not be higher classes of people based off of like social hierarchies and
absolutely,
protected classes?
The truth. What are you, a fascist?
Oh my God!
You don't run around speaking the truth without some retribution.
I don't think the police went far enough. They took this woman to jail, but you know what? What I really think they should have done?
Beaten her first?
Exactly. Tarred and feathered her naked in the streets, making her walk down.
Exactly.
That's what y'all. The future is now, and I say the future is in the past. Tar and feathering needs to come back.
I totally agree with you. You know what else?
What?
All of that truth and honesty can really give you a bloated feeling.
Oh, yeah, it does.
You don't like that.
I mean, really don't.
Bloated and just kind of after you eat.
I feel so disgusting.
Especially if you get some of the tar and the feather in your mouth. That really is, I mean, it looks like it would be good because, like a chicken or a duck has the feathers.
Yeah.
But
like
no.
Black licorice and chicken, who doesn't like
that? It tastes a lot like petroleum.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it does. And it's kind of sad, but it's true. So if that happens to you, if you're getting that bloated feeling after a meal and you would really prefer not to, I mean, maybe you're into bloating, whatever, no judgment. LoveMyTummy.com is the place you need to go.
It is.
Yeah, we use LoveMyTummy.com because when you say Altrontil, no, it sounds French. It's the name of it's the name of what you take, but you see, how would you spell Altrontil? Several ways.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
I don't want to. I don't want to assume it's spelling.
Don't want to misappropriate all those letters.
Bigoted of me.
So instead, you go to Love My Tummy. Although it's my tummy with a Y. Tummy. You go there, you will find a special offer. By the way, it's at lovemytummy.com/mojo. Lovemytummy.com/mojo. And that's an O and an O. That's a Mo and a Joe. And if you do that, you get a great deal on it. You get the Atrontil 90 capsule box. It's normally $39.95 when you buy 3 with a coupon code, which is MoJo.
And that stuff is worth it.
Have you been taking it?
I have.
I've been taking it. Beth has been taking it. It's working for you?
It's working for me.
It is pretty amazing. I mean, you don't have to have IBS or DSB or any of those things. Or backup of the blobbity blob. Maybe that's what it is. It could have been the backup of the blobbity blobs.
It'll help you get rid of the blobbity blobs.
It's the world's first ever over-the-counter proven solution for bloating, and this is according to 2 published clinical trials. So lovemytummy.com/mojo if you get that bloated feeling and you just don't want it anymore. I mean, you can keep it if you want.
I mean, yeah.
I'm just saying.
We're not going to tell you how to live your life.
No.
But I'm just saying
there
is, I mean, it just feels a little better to not have bloating. That's
It's just you.
Just me.
You've got this thing about telling the truth too. So what the hell? I mean,
Well, thankfully the police are gonna come and fix that here shortly.
They'll let you know.
Yeah,
they'll let you know. Something else that happened over the weekend. A woman.
That happened?
A woman
happened.
A woman happened. I'm trying to decide how I want to present this because it's
By the way, real fast. Apparently, there's a platypus listener. We have a platypus listener.
Yeah, and I didn't want to encroach upon the platypusness of the platypus.
I'm sorry that I called you a try-hard animal.
They can
platypus listener.
Platypuses are tough. They are tough.
They do lay eggs.
And there you have it. You ever had a platypus egg?
No. Have you?
As long as you're not into feet, you're good. Let's just listen to the reporter.
All right, let's go to Arizona now, where a woman was attacked by a jaguar
while what?
Taking a selfie at a zoo. Now, a man who was there with his family says
let's hold on. I just want to play that one more time because
give me that one more time, please.
All right, let's go to Arizona now, where a woman was attacked by a jaguar while taking a selfie at a zoo. Now, a man who was there with his family says he saw what happened. First, he heard a woman yelling for help.
That's because she had just been attacked.
It sounds
by
like
a
there's
jaguar.
video playing in the background, and now I need to see it.
Well, it's. I'm sure the woman is in pain.
Probably.
It's at CNN, by the way. You just go to CNN.
Jaguar woman selfie.
And here we
to
go.
where she was to catch the woman's arm clenched in the jaguar's mouth, in the claws, rather, I should say. Now, he distracted the animal with a water bottle before it.
Here, little jaguar. I've got Perrier. Look over here. Look over here.
Released her from its grip. A statement from the zoo says, please understand why barriers are put in place, sending prayers to the family tonight.
Listen to the question.
Has this jaguar ever hurt anyone?
Did you hear that question? I want to play that question again because that's a great question.
Family tonight.
Has this jaguar ever hurt anyone?
She had scratched a person once before when they.
Do you want to know why she had scratched a person before?
Because she's a wild animal.
Whoa! A jaguar is a wild animal?
Let me tell you something, ladies. You're not a Disney princess, okay?
I'm just what?
The animals aren't going to come up to you and start like singing songs and being all super cuddly, and then also for some odd reason, somehow, I don't know, they're just going to decide to be your comedic sidekick.
Right.
That's a wild animal. It's going to eat you.
You know what? If they need to put up signs saying that a jaguar is a wild animal. How the hell do you know it's a wild animal if there's not a sign saying beware? This is a wild
It's sad
animal.
to me that we live in a time where we'd have to put a sign up like that. Like, hey, this is not a tame animal. It will kill you.
No, yes. It will kill you. It not only will kill you, it could quite possibly eat you.
Oh, yeah.
While you're alive because it is a wild animal and
God,
that's what they do.
They didn't Harambe this.
I don't believe so.
Across the barrier.
The zoo says the incident occurred with a guest who crossed over the barrier to get a photo, according to eyewitnesses.
And what is wrong with that? Why?
There's a fence here. Why is this inconvenient fence is here to preventing me from getting us? What did she think was going to happen? She was going to jump down in there, and the cougar was going to. What was a panther?
It's a jaguar.
The jaguar.
If it had been a panther, that'd have been one thing. But
well, yeah,
jaguar.
Panthers are notorious selfie whores. They will. But yeah, this is a jaguar.
This is a big, large, black cat.
Why got to be black, right?
I just am trying to describe that. There's that truth thing again. Sorry.
But so what did she think that was? She was going to jump in there. She was going to get the Insta ready, and the jaguar was going to come up and just like have a jaguar,
and just just pet me, just pet me,
just cuddle. They were going to cuddle for a few minutes afterwards, you know. Yeah,
that's what she thought.
Yeah.
You ever been bitten by a cat? Just a regular house cat?
Oh, it's horrid.
I have, let's see, it's this, I don't know if you can see it, but right there, do you see that scar?
I do.
A wild cat got into the house when I lived in Nashville. This has been a long time ago. So this wild cat gets into the house, and I, being the dumbass at the time that I was, I heard this sound that's like over by the trash can.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what is that? And at the time, I think we had 3 cats. And I thought, it was one of the cats. Nope. I look over. It's like this unknown feline sticking its head into the trash. And so I walked over. He didn't hear me sneaking up on it. Ha ha! Ha ha! I've got it now. I grabbed said cat by the back of the scruff of the neck, because when you do that, you paralyze them, essentially. So I got the cat. I've got the cat. I hold the cat up in my hand, and the cat is looking at me. And it looked with every intention that it would eat my face if I allowed it to.
Right.
What's doing that? Well, as I'm going over to toss the cat outside, I dropped it.
Oh, no.
That was my mistake, because then I went to grab it again.
And it learned your...
Yeah.
It was ready for you that time.
They learn so fast, because when I went to pick it up again, it turned its head and it bit into the base of my thumb to where... And by the way, I let the cat... it took off. When I looked at my thumb, I went, wow, there's a bone in there. Whoa, look at all that neat stuff that's inside my thumb. There's bone and there's
muscle, tendons.
Oh, look here, there's blood. Oh my, there's a lot of blood.
You got a little bit of an anatomy lesson there.
I did. I should thank that cat.
Yeah.
So I went over to the sink.
You got a little bit educated.
I washed off my thumb. And I thought, generally, because it takes a lot for me to go to the hospital or anything, but I looked at that and I went, oh boy.
Oh no.
And I got in the car. I wrapped a towel around my hand. I went over to one of those little minute clinic, whatever it was, emergency room. By the way, they're expensive. So I went in, and I've got this blood-soaked towel around my hand at that point, and oh, come on in, we get back there. So the doctor starts going to work on it, and the doctor's, what did this to? I think a cat. He went, a cat did that? Hey, Bob. Hey, Nurse Ratchet. He called like everybody. A cat did this. I got a doctor saying this.
Wow.
Your thumb is
Y'all come in and take a look at this.
Look at what this dumbass. How did a cat do? I picked it up. I dropped. Don't ever pick. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
They were stunned. A cat. That is a house cat.
Oh. So
imagine
I can
what
only
or a jaguar.
Jaguar can do.
Damn it, it wasn't a panther.
Yeah.
It's a jaguar.
Panthers are Oscar winners.
Oh, they will cuddle up. A wild panther,
oh yeah,
that'll rub up against your legs.
Oh yeah.
But a jaguar, come on. A selfie with a jaguar. I just don't understand why she thought anything could.
Johnny Mac with the Chungus avatar, loving it, said the woman should be put to sleep to keep her from multiplying. Nobody with common sense jumps into a tiger's cage. I kind of have to agree. I think there's a point where if somebody does something that stupid, you should just go, nature's got to take its course.
Yeah, you really do. Except that for every time you do that, there is a lawyer who will say...
What's a lawyer?
It's a special person who likes to help people. Or a helper. Just think of a lawyer as a helping person.
Oh, really?
If you do that, you're absolutely fine. But
okay.
Yeah, so there's a lawyer. Every time you think that it should really just be survival of the fittest, let nature take its course, because if you're going to jump into a pen with nature's going to take its course, and that course is generally across your face.
There is, always a lawyer sitting there going, hey, how come this place didn't anticipate the stupidity of my client?
Exactly.
My client deserves money for being so stupid and doing stupid things.
Now you're catching on. See all these pearls of wisdom I give you?
I know. I learned so much during this show.
It is just amazing what people will do and then say, but I didn't know.
Well, the fence should have been your first clue. And have you never watched one episode of like Animal Planet?
Right.
Or, any kind of... They're all over Netflix, the BBC nature documentaries, which I'm obsessed with, by the way.
I think... By the way, on YouTube, crocodile versus man. Have I said that before? Because let me say it again. Crocodile people versus people.
Yeah.
Especially the people who put their heads in crocodiles' mouths.
Oh, I saw one recently on Reddit.
Great.
Oh my God.
Aren't those great?
Yeah.
Because I'm rooting for the crocodile.
Yeah.
I'm going, oh, bite down now. Bite down now. Now would be a good time.
Do it. You won't do it. You know what my favorite reptile man video though is? Have you seen the one where this guy gets into a pit full of literally vipers and he's just like walking around with a bag and like these are poisonous vipers and they're like, some of them are lunging at him and he's just like chilling out. Like it's no big deal. At one point in time, this one like tries to strike at him. He's like, and he just backhands this viper and it goes away.
Bitch.
I know, yeah, exactly.
Come at me.
So what you think you hard? You think you hard, son? And he just picks them out. Like, he'll pick up random vipers, put them in the bag, and then he's like, good.
Hold on, let me put on my fortune teller hat, because someday I'm getting a strong feeling.
Oh yeah.
Someday in the future, what's his name? Do we know his name?
No, he is a nameless hero.
Okay, nameless hero is he's going to die of snake bite.
Shut the hell up. How? What makes you say that?
I don't know. I know it's unlikely, but I get the strong feeling from the afterworld spirits.
Oh, they talk to you?
Yes, they do.
Is Doc there? Does he talk to you sometime?
He's too busy. He's still busy.
Yeah.
He's too busy right now trying to figure out where the food is.
He's too busy creating MoJo 5.2.
Exactly. You know what the voices in my head often tell me? You haven't prepared yet for retirement.
Oh yeah, I get that a lot too.
Yeah, that's why Era Capital Management is proud to be a sponsor of the program. See, they're trying to knock some sense into me, because retirement planning is not something you should overlook. Because what is it? Proper planning prevents piss poor performance.
Whoa!
Thank you, I got it.
Wow.
Proper.
You're like
planning.
a rapper.
See? Just like that dude in the news.
Yeah.
So if you haven't planned yet for your retirement, don't overlook it. You need to act right now. And when I say act, I don't mean act silly. I don't mean just act. Just call or go to eracapitalmanagement.com today. They can help you put an investment plan in place. They use their in-house portfolio management process.
Wow.
Right?
That sounds fancy.
And not everybody has an in-house portfolio management process, but they do at eracapitalmanagement.com. Your life, your era. Invest in it. Did I do it right that time?
That was great.
Thank you. Era Capital Management, LLC, is a registered investment advisor. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss, much like standing there at a Jaguar cage. Visit eracapitalmanagement.com or call them. The number's on the website, eracapitalmanagement.com. So, what'd you learn from that?
Well done, Brad.
Yeah, see?
You did it.
And stay away from Jaguar cages. Just saying.
High capacity, fully automatic, large caliber, freedom. MoJo 50.
As we say all the time here on By the Numbers, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. That brings us to President Donald Trump and his newly released budget proposal. The headline grabber for CNN and other outlets is the fact that Trump is going to take another swing at getting $8.6 billion for the border wall. He will also call for a 5% reduction in spending by every federal agency except for defense. Mr. President, remember what happened the last 2 times you attempted this? The government shut down twice and you got nothing, squadouche of what you wanted. Do you really believe you will find a way to get what you want a 3rd time, and with this democratically controlled House of Representatives no less? Overall, the White House has proposed $2.7 trillion in spending for fiscal year 2020. That was trillion with a T for those keeping score at home. As for that defense spending, let's remember Trump needs to find a way to put back $3.6 billion into the coffers after diverting some of that money in the past year for his border wall projects. He's also going to try to spin this whole budget thing as if it's a positive because he's managing to balance the budget in 15 years. Talk about real fiscal responsibility there, huh? The Democrats are already lining up solidly against this budget, and it hasn't even been 24 hours. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer went after the border wall spending, and the head of the House Budget Committee lined up against repairing the $2.2 trillion deficit that was created thanks to no budget over the last few years. Sadly, I'm just happy we have a president who is actually putting together a real budget proposal in the first place. Now it's on Congress to show they are serious about passing a budget instead of kicking the can down the road. I won't hold my breath, especially with Trump putting money in for a border wall and not decreasing funding for the Department of Defense. Oh, and this 2020 election thing. I'm Andrew Coppins, and this has been By the Numbers. Let's continue chatting over on Twitter at The Coppins Show.
By the Numbers with Andrew Coppins is powered by TarRiverArms.com. They've revolutionized online firearm sales with high-resolution pictures, 3D imaging, and the best prices. How much will you save? Find out at TarRiverArms.com. That's TarRiverArms.com.
The Daily MoJo.
Yes, there's a lot of just dumb people in the world. A lot of them. It's, I know it may come as a shock to a lot of people, but some people, and what was it? We'll get to that in a second. Right now, let's go to the phones because we have a guest on the line. Her name is Maria Espinoza. She is the National Director of the Remembrance Project. Maria, good morning.
Good morning, Brad. Thanks so much for having me on.
Oh, absolutely. Tell everybody what the Remembrance Project is.
Well, in a nutshell, Brad, we started this organization, my husband Tim Ling and myself, in 2009. So this is our 10th year anniversary. We are a voice for those who no longer have a voice, those Americans who've been killed by illegal aliens.
Wow. That's I would say in the climate today, that is it's something that, number one, has to be remembered, and I bet you get a lot of pushback from people of a different persuasion for this.
Yes, absolutely. However, we've been at this for 10 years. We created the Stone Lights Quilt banners to help educate the public and raise awareness and sort of connect the dots for the public and do what the fake news is not doing. And it's really sad that an organization like ours is even in business and had to be creative. But as you saw, Brad, the Angel moms, dads, and Angel family members during the presidential campaign, where Donald Trump embraced the Remembrance Project and our families, and to this day, has them up at the White House and speaking out, as a voice for the victims. And that's what I want all of your listeners to do, is realize that they too can be a voice for those who no longer have a voice. And we're going to make the Stone Lights Quilt panels that memorialize these innocent Americans who met a very many times vicious death, and be able to take it to your local government and be a voice for them.
Well, see, Maria, you are doing what what Brandon and I were just talking about here in the last half hour. You are committing the cardinal sin of telling the truth. And
right. Don't do that.
Yeah,
that's wrong. That's wrong to do.
The truth these days is considered hate speech. It's considered a lot of different things, and it's truly amazing that. To me, this is an incredible project, because when you in the national discussion over immigration, and everyone says, well, the Republicans or anybody who's conservative hates immigrants. No, that is absolutely not the truth. What we hate are people who come into this country with no respect for the country or its citizens. And what we don't like is politicians who seem more concerned with people who are not legal residents of this country than they are with the people who are living in this country as legal residents, and that's a big problem.
It is, and thank you, too, for being the truth, spreading the truth out there. My father was born in Mexico, came here the right way, and my husband and I just stumbled across this, created the project over what we learned here in Houston, Texas, was sanctuary city policies, which now they're all over the United States. But you're right. We want to tell the truth, and for that, I'm on the Southern Poverty Law Center's hate group. Here at Latina, created America First Latinos because other Latinos wanted us to continue speaking out 4 years ago now, when we created America First Latinos. And I think, as you can see, the numbers for President Trump and the Latino community are increasing, so they're at an all-time high now. And I think that he's just going to get more support the more that we tell the truth. And groups like yours or media outlets like yours are so very valuable. Otherwise, we would have nowhere to go. So thank you so much for all the work that you're doing.
Absolutely. And you mentioned your father immigrated to this country from Mexico in the 1950s. I would imagine at that point, and correct me if I'm wrong, what was his immigration process like? Did he was it tough for him? Was it a lengthy process? What was it like then?
Well, of course, it was lengthy, and there were certain things and requirements and qualifications, and he met all those. I was quite young, obviously, but he and Mom went through that. And there is a process. There's a front door, obviously, because millions of citizens and legal residents have utilized that avenue. And, fundamentally ignoring our laws. And this is a danger, and you can see happening all over the United States, that ignoring our laws basically puts every law in jeopardy. And now we have MS-13 gang membership increase in human trafficking, sex trafficking, the opioid crisis. These the results are endless. And as you know, that this is not a manufactured crisis. And I think we're going to center our third national conference which will be held in Houston this October, around that statement that the left loves to, I guess, falsely put out there, is that this is a manufactured crisis, but we know better.
Right. And that's just the thing, is that you have all of these people who say that there's no crisis going on. What was it? CNN a few months ago. Was it Acosta down there at the border?
It was.
I've been to McAllen, Texas. I have been there. I've seen I've seen what the wall looks like. I've seen that there are huge gaps in the wall. I mean, it is an uncontrollable situation in those areas right now where Nancy Pelosi suggested that we literally cut the grass at the border so that they couldn't sneak people through the high grass. Yeah, I heard that.
What a genius thing!
I know. If I'd known it was that simple. But the fact of the matter is, our immigration system does need reforming. I mean, it does on the national level. It's because the government complicates the hell out of everything they touch. Everything.
Right. Very true. Now, the reform I would like to see first and foremost would be for the current laws to be enforced. Then we can find out what is not working. So, and I think if we operate on this basis, which is the baseline for our country, is we do have a constitution. We are one nation under God, and we do not have to allow.
And those two things are in jeopardy right there. By the way,
they are. And if we don't speak up, gentlemen, obviously you can see where. Not speaking about religion and politics at the dinner table has done. And I really believe that you have to have these discussions so that, our youth will understand. But also that baseline I wanted to mention is the fact that we do not have to allow anyone into our country. Let's use that truth as the baseline and go from there.
Right. Yes. There is a legal means by which to do it. Now, again, I agree that it needs to be changed to make it a little more streamlined. But the fact of the matter is, you're right. We have existing laws. And to be quite frank, the Democrats and the Republicans are equally at fault when it comes to this crisis. If they'd wanted a wall, Congress would have been able to get this thing done years ago. It's obvious that neither side, when it in the government, wants this wall, and for obviously different reasons. But to say that there's no crisis at the border is foolhardy.
Yeah.
Foolhardy at best.
Absolutely.
With the Remembrance Project, what do you want people to take away? What is the goal? I mean, I know it's to remember these people who have been killed by illegal immigrants, but what is it that you want the public to take away from it?
Thank you for asking that question, because what we want is for everyone to go to our website, theremembranceproject.org, send me an email, and at director@theremembranceproject.org, and we want you to help volunteer. Our website is being updated so that you can download the victims panels, the Stolen Lives Quote panels, and take them to every level of government, mail them, do whatever you can, because everyone has to be a voice for the voiceless. And that's our big push this next year. And also supporting ICE, support lawfulness. So if you can help out there with any sort of skill that you might have, please email to Director at the Remembrance Project, and continue praying for this country and us too. So thank you, gentlemen.
Oh, absolutely. Maria Espinoza, the National Director of the Remembrance Project. And again, it is theremembranceproject.org, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Maria. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks so much. Take care. God bless y'all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Again, when you speak the truth, man, you get it from every side.
Yep.
It's stunning. And this woman, as the daughter of a legal immigrant from Mexico, that's what I just don't understand, is why people cannot see. It's like, no one hates immigrants.
Right.
Well, I'm sure that somebody does.
Well, yeah, there's that stupid minority out there. Don't get me wrong.
They're a-holes any which way you cut it. But
yeah,
we don't hate immigrants.
Well, I mean, again, when it comes to hate of the other, this is just a thing that the left typically tries to keep alive in order to achieve power. It's power through fear. It's power through turning one group against another and saying, hey, we're on your side and these guys are trying to screw you. You know, and so all we have to really do is just see past that. But I mean, to sit there and say that we hate immigrants, that's 100% false. 100% false. I mean, in Texas, we are, most of us, a Hispanic or Hispanic related. You know,
I'm not.
You're not?
No,
gringo.
I've got some Indian in me because I'd like to.
But I mean, like, to sit there and say that, you know, we fear them, that's kind of like a stupid thing to say. I mean, we're surrounded by them at all times. We're surrounded by their culture at all times. This is just a part of who we are. This is a part of our Texas identity.
It was the whole, it's akin to the, if you didn't like President Obama, you're a racist. It's like, dude, I don't dislike you because you're black. I dislike you because I don't like your policies. I don't like what you're doing. And in some cases, you're being an a-hole.
And in some, I mean, like, I can dislike your policies and still like you as a person. You know, I get along. I have many Democrat friends, many friends on the left.
Do you talk about politics with them, though?
Sometimes, yeah.
Do you?
And we can talk about it very nicely and stuff like that. It's possible, believe it or not. But just because we disagree with each other's politics doesn't mean that we have to hate each other, because seriously, judging someone by their politics is usually a really bad metric.
Judging anybody by anything other than, you know, are they a good person?
The contents of their character.
Yes. That's crazy. You start talking about
Sorry, did I say something
what's in their heart? You start talking
ridiculous in this day and age?
You know, you start looking at the things that Martin Luther King said, and you're obviously just a hater, too.
Yeah.
It boggles my mind, and it frightens me, because I wonder, and again, going back to the first hour of the show, that the portion or the part of the population that is supporting people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and this nonsense, when she opens her mouth and these so many words come out that either mean absolutely nothing or are so twisted and preposterous that you think this has got to be a joke.
What?
This has got to be. This is like comedy. This is a comedian night at the Laugh Factory. This cat. And people, man, she's got this following of people that just worship the ground she walks on.
I mean, it's the same thing with Bernie Sanders, though. I mean, because it's a lot of this is, when you really break down what they're saying, it is completely nonsensical and completely out of touch with reality.
Yes.
But they're sitting there talking about how things are unfair, and there's this system out there that can save them, and social justice is the key to making us all come together, and yada, 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 yada. And it sounds radical and it sounds revolutionary, and man, many young people are out there. I mean, think about when you were young. You know, they're like revolutionary ideas, things that have never been tried, things that are new, sound amazing to you. You know, they're the kind of people who think that going out to a concert is going to change the world. Man, it's not. Okay, it's not. But I would say, however, that life hits you fast. You know,
boy, does it.
And you'll notice that it's
especially if it's a train.
Yeah.
Hold on here. Hang on. Guess.
Hey!
Thank you.
But we've got this. If you'll notice that all the graphs say that, like, you know, whenever you're young, you're more welcoming or believe in socialism, and then as you get older, you start to kind of ditch those little proclivities and stuff like that, because life comes at you fast. You realize, oh man, I have to go to work,
right,
in order to support myself, and then people are going to take money out of my paycheck. Right. Why? Where's it going? Where's it going? And then you find out where it's going. You're like, I don't like that.
It's certainly easy to take somebody else's money and spend it the way you want to.
Exactly.
But what do they say? Socialism is great until you run out of somebody else's money.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, a lot of the backup that Sanders and AOC have there, it comes from a very young crowd. I mean, like, say something nasty about AOC on Twitter and keep doing it. Eventually someone will find you, and then you might have a mob after you.
Oh, yeah.
The same thing can go with Bernie Sanders, especially during election season. Say something nasty about Bernie Sanders and watch what happens. They will find you. All right. But a lot of these are young people who have no idea what they're talking about half the time. They've heard somebody else say something in their college campus, or maybe at the coffee shop. You know, they ran into somebody whom they immediately respect because they sound smart.
Right.
Like AOC quite a bit. Her whole entire thing, I can guarantee you. Remember when she talked about Israel being occupied Palestinian land?
Right.
And then the God bless her. I didn't realize it. I didn't expect this from the mainstream media, but said, okay, can you explain that?
I know, right?
Just asking a simple question. Can you explain what you just said to me? Like, what do you think about it? And she admitted straight up, she has no idea what she's talking about. It's because she heard somebody else talking about it. They sounded smart, and that's the position she took.
Are you telling me what it is you know, or just repeating what it was you heard?
Exactly.
And it's, again, until we hope for the rebirth of common sense in this country, we're on a dark path. By the way, try saying something bad about a cat cooler.
You can't. You can't physically say it because it's so. Watch the cat coolers.
See what it is they're so rugged and tough. You're afraid they're gonna kick your ass.
Yeah, you are, man.
You say something bad about a cat cooler. I mean, it's got the word cat in it, and a cat. We all know
what happens when you mess with a
dangerous
cat.
And badass. Just saying.
But you can take a selfie with this cat cooler.
Yeah, you can. You can actually sit on this this cat cooler, and you can keep cats in the cat cooler.
That's right.
I mean, if you're so inclined. I don't. I personally don't endorse that. I happen to like cats because
maybe that's the kind of restaurant you run.
I'm very
I'm not judging.
And cats are independent, so I don't have to commit to a relationship with them. But in a cat cooler, you can put ice, and it will stay cold for. It'll stay ice for up to 7 days.
Wow.
Ice in really, really cold water for up to 7 days. These are made in the good old United States of America by U.S. Americans.
That is exactly
Isn't that amazing.
Yes.
I mean, if you're looking for a cooler with those kind of credentials, it's customizable. So you can customize it.
Put Brad's face on it.
And then you can, of course,
sit on it.
Thank you. And I think we all know what that means. 4 different colors, white, black, yellow. Camouflage as well, but as we've said in the past, we cannot recommend the camouflage because you end up losing it if you're in the Amazon.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. Go to catcoolers.com. Summer's coming. You need a good cooler. Catcoolers.com. Use promo code Brandon and you will get 10% off. That is 10% off your cat cooler at catcoolers.com. I want to try something here. Hey,
oh, God.
Hey, I know.
I did not consent to this, Brad.
I know. This is crazy, but I want to tell you a little story.
Oh, you're taking story time. I love story time. I use music for my story time.
Thank you. Too. Mary didn't have the easiest life. She was born in London in 1797. Her father was a political writer. Her mother was a feminist author. Mary never knew her mother because she died just days after giving birth to Mary. Her father was left to care for Mary and then a half-sister named Fanny. Fanny was the product of an affair that Mary's mother had with a soldier. Awkward, to say the least. Her dad met and married another woman when Mary was just 4. As she grew up, she and her stepmother didn't get along. And while one of Mary's new half-sisters was sent to be educated at boarding school, parents figured out that Mary could make it on her own without a formal education.
Yeah.
Well, Mary enjoyed 2 things, reading and daydreaming. Because her father had an extensive library, that's where you'd often find Mary. She'd sometimes take the books to her mother's grave and read them there. She began to enjoy writing, too. She would say later that, as a child, I scribbled, and my favorite pastime during the hours given me for recreation was to write stories. She published a poem in 1807 through her father's company. In 1814, when Mary was just 16, she caught the eye of a 21-year-old poet named Percy.
Oh, unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, Percy was a student of her father's, and even though he was married, Percy and Mary began a steamy love affair. They soon decided to travel throughout Europe together. Now,
the story gets saucy.
They had no money. No. They did have a child together the first year. Despite the fact that her husband was still married to another woman, the child died less than a week after she was born. The following year, Percy's wife committed suicide, allowing Percy and Mary to be married finally. It was during that same year that the two were visiting friends in Switzerland. During a rainy night of reading ghost stories, one of the friends suggested that they should each take a turn at writing a horror story. Mary began working on her story and continued even after their time in Switzerland ended. She published it anonymously later the next year, even though most people thought that her new husband had written it, since he had written its introduction. The book was slow to start, but life continued on from Mary and Percy. It was still a bumpy road, though, filled with adulterous affairs and the births and soon after deaths of 2 more of their children. In 1819, Mary gave birth to another boy, the only child that would actually live to adulthood. 3 years later, Percy was on a sailing trip with friends, and he drowned in the Gulf of Spezia. He was only 29. Mary went on to live to the ripe old age of 53 when she was diagnosed and soon died from brain cancer. She was buried with the cremated remains of her late husband's heart in St. Peter's Church in Bournemouth. Mary's life was a life of sadness and sorrow. Some would even say it was a life filled with horror. It seems oddly appropriate, though, for it was Mary, married to Percy Shelley, who on this day in 1818 brought to life in her horror story the creature that we now know as Frankenstein.
Whoa.
How's that, huh?
Wow.
Is that trippy or what?
That was crazy.
She led a pretty bizarre life.
But wrote a story.
Out of her pain, and there came Frankenstein. It's Frankenstein. Frankenstein.
Man, that's actually because so essentially what happened is she took her horror from real life.
Horror.
She took her horror
from real life and
from the real life, and then put it on a page, and it became one of the most not only like most memorable stories we have on this planet, but also something that has been referenced consistently and remade and other stories completely inspired by.
Yeah.
With the themes and stuff like that for ages and ages.
And this woman, who again had a horrendous at best life, if you think about it, has 4 kids, only one of them lives. A husband who dies when he's 29. When her father got remarried, she did not get it. The stepmother and she just did not get along. So I mean, she literally just had a horrid upbringing. But I thought that was fascinating, so I thought I'd bring it to you in that sense because that is the kind of guy I am.
Aww.
By the way, if you missed the big announcement in the second hour, both Brandon and I are going to be transitioning into duck-billed platypi.
Yeah, very slowly.
That was the big announcement that we're going to identify that as such. And also, I mean, secondarily, Brandon will be joining the Daily Mojo as we move this thing. I just did down the track. There's no other way to move it down the track.
Yeah, move it.
So it's going to be Ron, guy behind the glass, and me, the first hour. So I mean that is so worth the price that you pay.
Yeah,
so worth it. I mean, you do get what you pay for here. And then for the second and third hours, it will be the Brandon Morse on Twitter joining us here in the MoJo Freedom Dojo.
And I'm happy to be here.
And then following the Daily Mojo, and this all starts on Wednesday, by the way, following the Daily Mojo will be an hour of the Morse Code.
Yep.
Followed immediately at noon Eastern time by 3 hours of Matlock and the Conservative Cartel. I'm telling you, Matt is his biggest fan.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, your biggest fan. No, I meant his biggest fan.
I am his biggest fan.
Just
the Twitter account.
I'm much bigger than you.
Of his throat.
Right? Does he really? He has a Twitter account for his throat?
It's, Matlock's vocal cords, man.
And Ron's got the... Ron's poop. That's a classy crowd.
I have one for my beard.
And Izzo has one for his micro penis.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about a classy bunch.
So not only do we have a menagerie of animals.
And a lot of them, too.
Yeah, within our listening audience, we also have various body parts.
It is amazing. And you can never have too many Twitter accounts for too many body parts.
That's what's up.
All right, I guess it's time to wrap this thing up for today.
What do you mean it's let's go?
Train whistle does mean that is it, ladies and gentlemen, the end of Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo. But as always, before we go, let's find out what we learned today. Today was a day full of learning opportunities.
Yeah,
if I might
I've
add.
learned a lot.
We learned that selfies with wild animals can sometimes be hazardous to your health.
Oh, no way.
I mean, this is kind of remedial stuff, but it's true.
Yeah.
We learned that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is like beer. She is proof that God loves us and wants us to laugh.
I believe that's true.
I really do. And beer, as Benjamin Franklin said, is the very same thing. And we learned that everybody loves to hate, except haters who love hate, which only sounds like an oxymoron. But then it came from someone in government. So.
That blew my mind.
I know, right? Hold on, where's that bell? Woo! The Brandon Morse, what, if anything, did you learn today?
Well, I learned that walls can keep a lot of things out, but stupidity is unfazed by barriers.
Right? I mean, is it that stupidity is so small it can, like, sneak between the slats?
Maybe. I don't know. It can just phase through the wall. Almost like an X-Man or a superhero of some kind, you know? Just like...
That is a good
Stupidity knows no boundaries, no barriers, no borders.
That is brilliant.
Stupidity is omnipresent. It goes wherever it feels. I also learned that our audience, they're a bunch of animals.
Right?
We got a platypus, a kangaroo, a chungus bunny, and an angry beaver.
Hold on, a what? A chungus bunny?
A chungus bunny. I'll describe it later to you.
Okay.
And an angry beaver.
Aha, that's true.
And
is there any other kind?
And they bite.
Yes, they do.
They bite.
What, you got anything else, or what, do we move on to the audience?
We actually have.
What if anything did the listeners learn today?
Rocky with an I said, what I learned, just Peachy, I'm sorry, said that. Said Rocky with an I. What I learned today is that AOC is the Billy McFarland of politics, which is apt. That's good.
That is quite insightful,
yeah,
actually.
I really like that.
See, just when you think they're just a bunch of jackholes, they say something insightful, and they make you feel bad.
Our audience is way smarter than they like to let on.
I know.
But we know you. We see you.
Don't tell them that. They'll get a big head.
Nancy Pelosi's the PTA mom. This is from Kirk, slightly venomous jackhole. Nancy Pelosi's the PTA mom that ignores that the daughter is a douche while calling out other kids as a-holes.
Yes, I'd have to say that's correct. That is true.
Rusty Lugnuts 08 said Ron is giving tutu wearing classes. I guess he's excited about that.
If you haven't taken a Poopin' Ron's tutu class,
oh my God.
Why do you think they call it a tutu?
Tutu? Poo-poo tutu?
That's all I got on that one. It's a tutu. What do we got coming up next on Matt Locke's program?
Lots of yelling, as per the usual. Because we know what you want. We know why you come here.
Look how you're dressed, after all. You know what you want. You want it bad. What's coming up on the Morse Code this afternoon?
Man, I've got all sorts of stuff to talk about. I want to talk about Chris Evans and Dan Crenshaw. And apparently
Are they getting married?
Yes, finally.
I knew it. You know what? You could see it in his eye.
They had a great moment. Captain America, the Hollywood Captain America, and the real life Captain America. They had a great moment.
That is cool.
But people got mad about it.
Gee, there's a shocker.
I know.
Hear about that coming up in the Morse Code this afternoon at is it noon Eastern or is it noon? Hell, I don't know. We'll get to this new number because on procrastination when Doc returns from vacation. Remember, your Daily Mojos today. Ron Phillips production. Live by those 5 rules. You can be right and happy. Good night, Doc Thompson.
Wherever you are.